It tickles my fancy.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not.
Wait.
Yeah.
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
They don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay. Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still in the sauce with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof, I'm a lie about a motor. No proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever traded him. You know what is a star? Like under the city, the driver's like fly. Wish I could large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. Hey, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever, and cute as can be. You can watch us on YouTube with viewing for free. Hey, this one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time, wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Morning, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Hello, Leroy.
Hello, Mush.
What did I mush?
You sent me the third quarter thing, and they still won. Usually, third quarter turns out to be.
Okay, I got a couple things, dude. First of all, you were eating cantaloupe before the show,
No,
like literally as you sat down.
Wasn't cantaloupe.
What was it?
Actually, it was pretty tasty. It's from Starbucks. A little egg bite.
Why do you choose like at 10 o'clock when the live stream starts recording to say, you know, this is the time to start digging in?
Because I was out and I grabbed something on the way back home.
Second of all, you can't mush something that went good. That's like the idiots who are like, you almost mushed us in the national championship. There's no such thing as an almost mush. You mush or you don't.
So you're playing the result.
That's how mushing works. And also, Leroy, what would you call blowing a 20-point lead and then trailing?
It's third quarter.
That's a third quarter, dude.
It's third quarter.
It was maybe a nominee for third quarter of the year. It was crazy.
Oh no, they've had worse.
I don't know. That was pretty impressive. Thankfully, I mean, what they needed, like a lightning bolt, was what happened in the fourth, which was a monster fourth quarter by Bam Adebayo, who has not looked like that in 6 weeks,
if not longer.
It was very impressive.
It almost seems like they made a conscious effort to get him involved early.
They definitely did that. They got some Chris Bosh in him, and then it went away. And I was very frustrated by that in the midst of the third quarter because I was like, how many shots did Bam take in that third quarter? And the answer was 1. And
it's weird because why does everybody on this team feel like if they get 20 in the first half, okay, now it's time to get everybody else involved? When in actuality, you should be thinking, I'm hot, let me score 40.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's because he did.
They all do it.
I think also he just didn't get the ball. And then all of a sudden in the middle of the fourth quarter, he snatched the ball away from the Suns, went down for a dunk, and then it was on. Like he was just like, I should just do that. I should just steal the ball. It was like Happy Gilmore when he learned like the hole in one was a thing. He goes, that was so much easier than putting. He should just do that. Just steal the basketball, run down the court, and score all the time. But it was much needed. I was happy for him.
They haven't had very many wins against teams with winning records. So there's that also.
Yes, they were playing very good. And also just a dirty, rotten team, that Phoenix Suns. Sneaky dirty.
It's just one guy.
They all were getting into it. They have one guy who's, Dillion Brooks.
I mean, come on.
He is ridiculous.
He is new Draymond.
But he's Draymond without the hardware. Like at least Draymond is a distinguished champion. This guy, he literally just like we lose, I'm gonna take down Andrew Wiggins for no reason. It's a perfect. Let me ask you something. You know what kind of a rat bastard you have to be to harm Andrew Wiggins?
Right.
What are we doing with our lives here? Because when Pella and Devin Booker got into it, Pella's a pain in the ass. Like I could understand he always is getting hit in the face, and then he's a rascal because he goaded Devin Booker into a technical foul, and then he's like, he did the old walk away fist pump. So he's got a little Swedish Dillion Brooks in him too, Pelle Larsson.
But not like that. Not like him.
Nobody's like him. Andrew Wiggins is the most delightful. Big smile, minds his business, plays his basketball. Sometimes minds too much of his own business.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I was like, what is he doing? Andrew, you missed a three and you're just like, you know what? Today is the time for an arm bar. The hell was that from Dillion Brooks? He's and the thing that's crazy about it with him, this is the thing that's lost about it. I think to you usually an agitator, you think of Draymond, not super offensively skilled.
He's really good.
Patrick Beverley, this guy's very talented.
Right.
He doesn't need to resort to that stuff all the time, but he can't help himself.
The street stuff.
Dude, I'll tell you who got into some thuggery was that Grayson Allen.
He's been known. To have
Another
those
punch
two
in the
guys
face.
on the same team. Holy smokes.
Yeah, a very annoying team. A very annoying team with a lot of whiny babies on there. But the Heat got the win yesterday. Get to our headlines here, brought to you by Doral Hyundai. You always pay less with a Pricito at Doral Hyundai. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. Your final score, 127-121. Bam Adebayo, 29 points, and he passed Alonzo Mourning for second on the all-time Heat scoring list.
Jeez. That seems like weird that he's there that quick.
Pretty impressive. It wasn't too long ago. Alonzo was on a boat with us, Leroy, telling us that he thought Bam was going to be an all-timer for this team. He did
say that early on in Bam's career, and we like,
I like that very much. And it was a good game yesterday because Norm had a good game, Tyler had a good game, Bam had a good. You haven't had a game like that where all of their big guys.
3 guys had 20.
Yeah,
and at certain parts of the game, look like they could take it over at that point.
Yeah,
right?
Needed it, dude. You needed that, Brittany. That
was needed to see that.
Did that make you feel better at all?
Sure.
I don't believe you. That wasn't very convincing.
I'm sorry. No, I think it's like, here's the thing. I think we're giving the Suns a lot of credit for how good they actually are. And I think we're going to forget about this game very quickly when the Celtics and the Sun and the Thunder come
potentially. And there was also some antics that we got to keep an eye on because it seemed like, I don't know about you, but I seemed to see Bam Adebayo do a gesture during that game.
Yeah, I did see that as well. It was
very interesting, Leroy. Did you see that?
Immediately when I saw it.
Well, this could be something.
Oh.
It could be nothing.
Why?
It's hard to say. But Bam Adebayo yesterday, when all this Ja Morant noise was circling around the ether, we talked a lot about it yesterday. I didn't notice this during the game because all I noticed was Bam after he hit, I think this was after his fourth three or his third three in the fourth quarter, or his third three in the fourth quarter. He all I noticed, he looked like a rabid dog because he had spittle like coming out of his mouth. He was so incensed. Like it looked like a man who hadn't scored 20 points in 3 weeks. And it was finally dropping for him. But like a maniac, he comes down the court and he does what appears to be the Ja Morant. It appears Bam Adebayo does the old grenade earmuffs on the way down the court after hitting a three. And one would say, Leroy, that could be something. What?
Why do you do this?
Dude, I'm not the only
Ja
one.
Morant here. Ja Morant is not a good fit for the Miami Heat.
Okay, you put that aside. I'm not talking about fit. You're going into another avenue. You could debate for another day. If you could just be with me here for a second, could be something, could be nothing. Do you think Bam Adebayo is sending out the Ja Morant bat signal?
No.
Wrong. But anyway, I was just curious of your opinion on that. But no surprise, Brittany.
No, I think that's definitely something.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
We keep asking around the room till you get the answer you want.
She gets it.
Leroy, if you could sit here and say that it could be something when Tyler Hero was sitting on the bench dressed out and you were all up in arms and Tobin wasn't, and you don't want to think he did his celebration, Leroy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And I
Come
think he did it
on.
back in the locker room too, when they was he did like the walk back and he was like, so I don't know.
All right.
But no, listen, no surprise from you. Your superpower is dismissing me,
No, it's not. It's like
is.
it's not.
It is.
It's not a real thing. Bam could do all the gestures he wants, right? But Ja's not going to be with Miami. He's not, because Miami. Listen,
A lot of smoke.
You don't think that Pat Riley's tired of making assumptions about what people are going to be when they get into this organization, only to find out they're not?
I don't know what he's tired of. From my standpoint, Pat Riley's always been a talent guy,
Okay.
One time Tim Hardaway was overlooked. Talent.
But you ain't never had to worry about the knucklehead stuff.
Just as funny bone.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you're not real, Leroy. Do right by your franchise play. Dude, like, all right, go ahead. I'm just telling you, like, you guys are like people in relationships. You think you could fix somebody, right? At what point do you look at a player and think that, no, that's who he is? And you're going to add a point guard. One, the way this team is built, you're going to add a player that can't shoot. Let's just start there. What do you think? How you think that's going to play out?
How is it going to play? It depends I honestly think it depends if he becomes, if he gets back to being an elite player at the rim. If he's an elite player at the rim, you can live with the shooting stuff.
But he hasn't been that in a minute.
He hasn't been that in a minute.
So, you're making a whole bunch of assumptions for a trade that's going to cost you assets.
Leroy, typically when I think about how things are going, that usually is an assumption.
That what?
I can't know something. I can't know something as fact.
Okay. All right. But so you think if he comes here, he's going to be different than the player he's been the last 3 years?
I don't really know. What I would say is if you can get a guy of his ilk
he's not of any ilk. He hasn't done that in a couple of years. I don't know if he's not of any ilk. I don't know if he's not of any ilk. We can't say he's of no ilk. Very little ilk.
Man.
Very little ilk. He's not like you putting him like you're making him like he's some superstar that's going to be a game changer.
He was a superstar.
He was.
That.
You said it yourself. Was. Then all of the crap. No.
Miami Hurricanes, they won their 10th in a row in basketball yesterday.
Yeah.
They beat Notre Dame.
Look good. Well, yeah.
81-69. Trey Donaldson continues his hot play. 23 points. Malik Renew, 17 points, 10 rebounds. They'll be back in action on Saturday.
You know what bothers me in basketball, especially college basketball? How the hell do the Hurricanes have a better record than half the teams above them but are unranked?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, I'm looking at there's Virginia or somebody is 12-5 and they're ranked in the top 20.
Yeah, I don't know because they're now 4-0 in conference play. Is the ACC not a respectable basketball division? I can't keep up with stuff.
I just don't understand. Like a lot of times, especially this time of year, you don't even care. You just look at the record. These guys aren't looking at strength of schedule at this point. They go, "Oh, ACC team 15-2, got to be ranked somewhere." I
think it's the best start in team history. I think he's had Jay Lucas. That's pretty incredible. Like his first season.
It just baffles me that I look at the rankings just to see where and realize that Miami's not ranked. And I'm looking at some of these schools. If you look at the top 15 schools in the country, a lot of them have 3-4 losses.
Right. Yeah.
So how in the hell can't Miami be in there? Some in the top 25?
I think I would imagine if you start 5-0 in ACC play, I gotta imagine that gets you in at least the top 25. You would think if they win on Saturday.
Even that seems crazy
I agree with you.
5-0 in the ACC, we might be able to squeeze in the top 25. Just look at some of the records of the top 10 teams. 2, 3, 4 losses.
Currently, right now, Clemson is 22nd. So if they beat them, they're for sure going to be ranked.
And what's their record?
5-0 in the ACC, 15-3 overall.
Right. Just move up that to 14, to 13, to 12 wins. Like, it's crazy. Virginia's ranked, and they have a worse record than Miami.
They have a conference loss, but they're 15-2 as well. Let me see. I'll peruse. I'll look. I'll figure out some college basketball for you. We have A.J. Greer. He's going to stop by the show today for the Panthers. Boy. Very excited.
Watch how she comes on air on the just hair is going to be perfect, makeup. Like, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yep. He is, by the way, Jennifer, he's coming on earlier than first expected. He's coming on at noon. Well,
you better hurry up and go get ready.
It's a little earlier than you for a home show. So
you better hurry up and go get ready.
I just wanted to give you a heads up. A.J. Greer, Panthers badass, is going to join us. He's coming off a pair of goals for the Cats, and lots to talk to him about. He is a very, very talented character on this Panthers team. And has to do with the new line. His poor line. I want to ask him if he misses his line mates. Like,
that's what I wanted to ask him. The same thing. Like, how hard is it? How hard is it to get accustomed to? Because most people just assume you have talent, you have a lot of depth, you'll figure it out. But at times it seems difficult just for those guys to learn how each other plays.
Yeah. Panthers get a couple days off. They're practicing in about an hour, so we'll talk to him around noon today. Lots happening yesterday in the NBA as well. LeBron drama, Giannis drama, and of course, the big news in sports, which we'll get to next. Mike Tomlin stepping down as Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. Back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Here with you on a Wednesday. We'll have a little Rats Off a Ship later on today. A.J. Greer from the Panthers is going to join us later on today. Miami Heat get a win. We are, of course, counting down the days until the Miami Hurricanes take on Indiana in the national championship.
What happens first? Championship or a new Dolphins coach?
Oh, championship. I think because I don't think the Dolphins can even interview people till next week.
I mean, live, face to face.
Face to face, yeah. I don't think they could do that until next week, and I think that. So I think the championship happens first. They did announce today that they interviewed Stefanski, which I believe was in person.
Yeah, he don't have no job right now.
He don't have a job right now. Are you? So I guess you obviously follow the Browns very closely.
Yeah.
What are his best qualities?
He's a good offensive mind. If not handicapped with the Deshaun Watson stuff, think he would have did much better. The problem that I have with all these coaches leaving and moving or whatever, you never know who's responsible for what. So they may get up and say it was a collaborative decision, but we know damn well that's not how it works.
Right.
We have the same questions. We had the same questions down here with Mike and Greer, Chris Greer.
Same with Flores. Same with
Flores. We always wonder who's making these decisions.
And especially when one goes bad, and if it isn't mutual and things are going bad, you always get that perfume on it. Like, oh, that wasn't me. The Tua thing is a great example of this, because people are like, oh man, Brian Flores never wanted Tua. He wanted Jordan Love. He wanted Justin Herbert. I'm like, hey man, let me get this straight. Chris Greer, who never goes against his head coaches, never. All of a sudden that was his line of demarcation of telling Brian Flores to shut the hell up. We're taking Tua. Like, no, dude, you got to own some of taking that guy too. I'm not gonna let you.
But here's the other problem. You know how the owner felt about Tua.
Yeah, we do. We know how the owner
and how do we know that the owner didn't say, if I have a chance to get him, I'd like to get him. Like, maybe. That's the point, because I'm more than sure that, listen, the way the Deshaun Watson deal worked, he was getting ready to get on a plane and go somewhere else.
Sure.
Somebody made the call to give him whatever, everything that he wanted and guarantee it. Mm-hmm. That call does not come from the coach.
Well, the Dolphins were in that hunt too. I mean, there was talks back then. I think that Stephen Ross was asking about lawyers about settling cases back then when
he wanted this situation to be settled
before he even thought about
which is what a lot of people should have did.
Yep.
Including the Browns. Why would you give somebody $230 million guaranteed and then have him miss the first 10 games and you already got rid of your other quarterback?
Yep.
See, so to put that on the coach is tough. I don't know that dynamic.
All right, so what about him? Because you got your things about McDaniel didn't like, most of them being adjustments and silly play calls. What are the things about Stefanski you didn't like?
I would say more recently, the way he handled the Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel situation. Like, after seeing Shedeur play at the end of the year, why wasn't a coach working with him sooner? Because a rookie quarterback's never a guarantee. And for them to just quickly go to Dillon Gabriel without, you know what I mean? It just seems like he had something against him, which is a big no-no for a coach, right? To me, a coach is responsible for leaving his ego at the door, just as he demands that you leave your ego at the door and make it all about the team. And I don't care if you don't like a guy. I don't care if you don't get along with him. If he's doing the job, then you have to make it work as the leader. And so I have questions about how that thing transformed and how it ended up. It almost seemed like he just, that Sanders just rubbed him the wrong way or something, which I could see. Like, kids today are a little more confident. They're a little more out there. And you sometimes, as an older person or older player or coach, sometimes have questions if they put the work in.
That is one of those two where it goes back to, all right, well, who had the hand in that picking? Because it was a weird. Nobody can disagree. The Browns put themselves in a really weird spot with all that.
Correct. And so from that standpoint, that whole thing, he let the defense be the defense. Sometimes, he did well with like James Winston for a minute, well, Joe Flacco a couple of times, right? But it seems as if though he did well with Baker, right? Like so there's guys that he did well with, but it seems like this whole Deshaun Watson thing kind of sucked the life out of that whole organization.
Yep.
And he's, I guess he's paying the ultimate price for it. And fans go after him all the time, and I'm like, yo, like, I get it.
It's not only that he was a move that was controversial, but then he couldn't stay on the field, and when he was on the field, he was terrible.
Right, like
it was.
He's had more quarterbacks in the last 3 years than the Dolphins have had since Chad Henne. Right, crazy. Like it's a weird thing to like then put that all on the coach. Your situation's still not changing at quarterback. So from that standpoint, some of the things that he did offensively, as far as, doing it up front, he was good at that. They had an excellent run game with Chubb. And that seemed to that seemed to look pretty good. But the whole quarterback thing, the whole quarterback situation with you couldn't even get a quarterback that you was paying to play. You paying $50 million for a quarterback. Just imagine that in your whole tenure, he's not been available for a full slate of games, a full season of games.
Brittany, does Stefanski give you the goosies at all as the Dolphins head coach?
No, not at all.
Not at all, huh?
I mean, there's really
any lead candidate that you like, or you only want Harbaugh or somebody really credentialed?
I like Tomlin. I want someone credentialed. I like Tomlin.
So,
I just don't think he's gonna do.
He ain't gonna coach this year.
Yeah, he's not gonna coach this year. So,
It seems like it.
And do you want to? In question, based on just think of Sullivan, right? How he says he's going to build the team, and your first move is to give up assets.
Well, this is an interesting thing with the step aside. People are assuming that they're going to ask for a haul for him and all.
No, not a haul, but when who was it that when you know what?
Sean Payton, you're talking about.
Sean Payton got a first and a second. This organization can't afford to give up a first and a second.
I would agree with that, but we don't know.
Tomlin's been more successful than Payton.
Yeah, I'm just saying we don't know that the Steelers. I mean, would they really hold the Dolphins' feet to the fire? Because here's what I think. This is my opinion on this. I think they probably did a savvy thing to get something, but I think that they were also in the spot they didn't want to fire him and move on. Like, I think they wanted him to go out with some level of dignity and go on his terms. I'm sure this was discussed because it's been said that he was thinking about moving on even at the start of this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know that this is going to be one of those. Like, if he really want to go to an organization, he's like, come on, you're not going to. I don't know. Maybe they're cutthroat. Maybe they are.
No, but I think if you're an organization that needs talent, right, and then you have a coach that you still have his rights to, why wouldn't you try to procure some draft picks?
Yeah, I'm sure
it only makes sense. You would be doing your franchise a disservice if you didn't try to get picks. And then when you look at what people have been, what has been given for a coach's rights, you have a coach that was more successful than the guy who got him first and a second.
Yeah, but it's also one of those where, like, I don't know. I think it would be interesting to know what the relationship there is between the ownership, because if it was a mutual parting, he's like, come on, if I want to go to a new stop, don't be like, I'm gonna get
business is business.
Yeah, I understand, but we don't know that that's going to end the same way. I'm not just putting it on the table. It's going to cost the Dolphins a first and a second to get Tomlin.
It might cost more.
I don't think so.
I think so. Do you think Mike Tomlin has been more successful than
Sean Payton?
Yeah, and keep in mind, Sean Payton sat for a year, and then they had to give a first and a second.
Well, that's what it seems it's going to be. Like, it does seem like he's going to sit probably for a year.
And it's still going to cost you.
I don't know.
Like, we have history here.
We have recent history.
Or a coach who's not as good as the one that would be available.
Yeah, I know, but we don't know. I don't know necessarily what the relation. We don't know what ownership relationship.
It doesn't matter. The ownership.
Sure, it does.
They love Peyton Manning and they love Sean Payton in New Orleans. It wasn't. Nobody had no ill will or nothing. But when it comes time to, hey, can we get some assets for it for keeping his rights? Why not try? That's your duty as an organization to try to get as much as you can.
They swap firsts.
Huh?
They gave a first or they swap firsts?
I think they gave up a first and a second.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no, okay. Yes, it's a lot, but it has been said. We've been talking about that damn Rudy Gobert trade forever. How it set trades back. Because now everybody think they can get that, right? What do you think is happening with coaches?
I tell you what else reset trades is this Luka trade. Smithereens. We'll take a break. More to come here on the show. We'll get back into this. There's a new Dolphins candidate that just got reported. We'll get to that coming up next. Welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. The Miami Heat, they win last night. They beat the Phoenix Suns. They'll be back in action tomorrow against
Brittany's
Boston
saying
Celtics.
That's not a big win.
I wouldn't say it's like, I thought it was a big win for different reasons, not necessarily who they beat. Like, I agree with her.
How they played with the 3 guys with the 20 points and
specifically Bam. I think Bam having a game like that was huge.
Much needed.
Yeah, like it was a much needed win. I don't think it was necessarily a big win.
I would agree. I would say that
it was against a winning team. And, you know, when you talk about their record against teams with winning records, it hasn't been good. So anytime you can get a victory against a team with a winning record, then, I mean, you got to feel good about it. I'm not saying this, we're not going to look back on this and go, that Suns game was the turning point.
Unless
right?
Bam keeps playing like this. If Bam can
if Bam
gets on a run, it'll feel like that. But look, they're a very nice story this year. It's an interesting dichotomy of the teams because like they were the kind of the old school of like, let's add all the stars. Then they just said, no, we're going to be Devin Booker's team with a bunch of irritants and a big man. And that's worked out for them better this year. They are playing good basketball. I would agree with Brittany saying, I don't necessarily think, if you told me, do I think they could be the Wolves or the Nuggets healthy or the Thunder or the Spurs in a series? Probably not. But it was still a nice win.
Yes.
A nice win and certainly needed.
Yeah.
If they beat the Celtics with Jaylen Brown on Thursday, I think that would be even more impressive just because of how that, curtails into the conference. That would be huge. I mean, like if they could get 2 out of 3 on this homestand, I think it's a really good homestand because it's a very challenging homestand.
Yes.
If they somehow can sweep it, that'd be, unbelievable.
Oh my goodness. You'd be uncontrollable.
I can't handle my emotions very maturely. Not very good at it.
You would lose your mind.
Not very good at it. By the way, Ja Morant's I didn't even know this. The Grizzlies are in Germany. They're playing a game in Germany. That's why, like, I'm looking at all these Ja Morant quotes. I'm like, where's Ja Morant speaking right now? It's 10 in the morning, and apparently they're over there for an international game. So he's just having to go with all of this this interesting fodder that's surrounding him right now. The Dolphins. We'll get back into the Ja thing in a little bit, but the Miami Dolphins, according to Tom Pelissero, have added another candidate, and that is former Dolphins linebacker coach, current Jacksonville Jaguars defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanile. And of course, if you don't remember him, he was of Hard Knocks fame as the guy who screamed a lot.
I just want to talk about this game before we go out there, okay? And to me, this is true as it gets. What's a mercenary? A mercenary is a hired gun, right? He gets paid. He's really good at his job, okay, but he gets paid to execute it. Mercenaries always defeat the draftees, but the volunteers will crush them both. There's one thing on the planet that's more of a motivator than money. Your emotional investment. The people you love, they're what's important to you, what you're really about, the way you were raised, whatever that is to you, okay? Those guys will volunteer to fight, okay? That's what we're looking for. Looking for guys that are going to volunteer to fight Monday night. Today and every day the rest of the way, okay? Because that's what we're training for, a championship. Everybody in here, you're going to feel that way. Get a shot to the body, can't breathe, can't think. Get the off. That's what we're look. Every day, that's what we're working toward. Every day. That's the type of fight it's going to be. Just keep that image in your head. That's what it's going to be Monday night. See you guys out there.
Now, mind you, they had their worst loss of, honestly, the era right after that speech. But it was a great speech. It was a great speech.
Here's the deal. There's 2 ways a speech like that could go. Right? You could look up at him like he's a knucklehead, right? And say, I'm a grown-ass professional. If I need this to get me fired up for a game, then shame on me. And there's certain things that he may say that get you going.
Right.
Right. But it's a very fine line. When I was in college, our coach used to get us fired up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When I got to the NFL, not so much. You had to kind of do it yourselves amongst yourselves. You know, Denny would do it and he'd get you fired up, but it was on Saturday night. So, like, yeah, we get it, but I need to get some sleep.
I feel like he's going to sound like Doc Rivers by the end of the season if he's the head coach.
Oh, yeah. So
he's going to wear.
I don't know.
Voice.
And here's the thing. If you come in with that much energy and you're not successful, you can lose your team quicker than anybody.
Yeah, I get that.
You see what I mean? So you got to be careful with that. You can only go there once you have a grasp of who's on your team and who is affected by those words. Keep in mind, it was also filmed. So when it's filmed, you throw a little cheese on it.
Yes, I think certain guys will definitely do that. He feels like that's probably how he goes in and orders at Las Patas.
Give me a monster with everything. I need all my soldiers in line. I want my tomatoes lined up right. Give me some peppers, the hot ones. Pick the little stuff out of them. I want my peppers ready to be eaten. Chips, voodoo chips.
Carrots is a parody on Campanile, and that sweet Jacksonville reporter lady would be comedy gold. She tells him to keep his head up, young man. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, man. Well, so he's on the list. Congratulations. John Harbaugh, by the way, it's been reported he is at the Giants facility today. So that's going to take what? We got he'll be Giants coach in like an hour.
You know how that works, right?
Don't let him leave.
Don't let him leave. Because if he's going to Tennessee.
I think Falcons are the other team. I think Falcons are the other team. I saw somebody mention Tennessee. I saw there was a lot of, the internet. I don't know what's real, what's not. But I think I saw pictures yesterday of Mike McDaniel in the Detroit airport report. Like he was supposedly, I guess, going
to be the OC.
To be the OC. And then somebody said that he was leaving there to go interview in Tennessee for the head coaching job.
That's crazy. Like, man.
There's 9 openings. I think
can I just say this? This kind of has the feeling of a Bill Belichick firing. When Bill Belichick got fired, everybody was coming after him, right? He ended up being the coach in waiting. He went with the Jets. And then when Parcells went to New England, he was the head coach of the Jets for 12 seconds. But remember when he went to, New England, they had to give restitution to the Jets. So it was crazy how that went, but yeah, they were after him right away. So, is that like, maybe are we not, because of the lack of success, are we looking at him as not being good at his job when everybody else is coveting this dude?
Nah, because here's the thing. First of all, I mean, there's 10 openings or 9 openings. So there's 8 jobs available to him, and he's doing at least, I would imagine, at least one OC interview. And he's definitely good enough to be employed. Like, someone is going to employ him at least as an offensive coordinator, at the very least.
Right.
But when you have that many openings, is it going to be crazy to think a guy who made the playoffs twice is going to be we already talked about, like, look, the guys with experience right now, it's not a hugely inspiring list. You got the monsters in Harbaugh and Tomlin. They're both pretty unlikely. McCarthy, and then like the experienced guys. I mean, who do you got? Matt Nagy, like it's not you got Saleh, so I think just by process of elimination and just where we're at, he'll probably get some, unless he's just a terrible interview, because that's the other thing with Mike McDaniel. He only interviewed for one head coaching job when he got the Dolphins job. He nailed it because So I don't know if that's going to come across the same. But I also think for him, one of the big things was, and people pointed this out with his leadership, is, he kind of switched up on how he did it. It was a learning process for him in the midst of all of this. So
I mean, you mean, in other words, he found some areas where he needed to get better at, and he tried to do that?
Yeah, and so you could take that to a new location. I think it could probably work better than it would maybe in a place where you already have, a track record.
Right.
So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another gig, especially with how many openings there are right now.
I mean, but think about this. All the other coaches that have been hired here, nobody got another opportunity. So this is even different than for Miami in that way also.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Flores would have if it wasn't for the lawsuit. I think that probably would have happened. And then, I mean, do you count Adam Gase getting the Jets job?
No, it's the Jets. Remember Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning vouched for him.
And then, of course, the late Tony Sperano got the stint with the Raiders as interim coach. Remember, he buried the football? That was good. Funeral for the football. I love that.
Sulla looks like Jason Taylor action figure that came out defective. Jeez
Louise, dude. We'll take a break, get you caught up with your headlines. More to come here on the show. We're back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM, second hour of the program. Let's get to our headlines, brought to you by Doral Hyundai. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. Last night, the Miami Hurricanes, they won their 10th in a row, beating Notre Dame 81-69. And that improves them to 15-12 on the year.
Unranked.
Unranked. They're taking on the ranked Clemson Tigers this weekend. Trey Donaldson and Malik Renew, tip of the spear for the Canes, as they typically are. And they will be back in action Saturday on the road to kick off an action-packed weekend of Canes action, football action, and all that. The Heat defeat the Suns 127-121. Bam Adebayo, 29 points in the victory. Norman Powell had 27 points. Tyler Hero had 23. Good to see that. And Jaime, I got to give a shout out to Jaime.
Yeah, 16, right?
Had 16, but he was like the catalyst for all the threes in the fourth quarter. Getting in that paint, spraying the ball out. He was dishing out some dimes, Leroy. So good to see.
No Bubba Guts Triple J.
Nope.
Is fun.
Speaking of Triple J, by the way, again, I said this was a very dramatic day in the NBA yesterday. Did you see? This has nothing to do with the Heat, so don't get mad at me. I see the look already.
Because it always has something to do with the Heat. Because
it doesn't have anything to do with the Heat.
Right here. How much of this story is about a disgruntled superstar?
Not if this story. I'm going to get to a disgruntled superstar, but that's not this.
Dude, you're on thin ice. You're on thin ice. Brittany, get the button ready, because he tries to maneuver his way into go ahead.
Okay.
You have the floor.
So Rich Paul, of course, the head of Clutch Sports, I believe married to Adele or engaged to Adele. And of course, LeBron James' agent, longtime agent. He has a podcast now, because who doesn't? And he's doing it with former HBO boxing analyst and, of course, co-host of First Take, Max Kellerman. Mm-hmm. And they were talking yesterday, or whatever this episode aired, I think it was 2 days ago, about the Lakers. And basically, he was talking about something about overlap with the Lakers, right? And, the Lakers are playing right now. Austin Reaves is not playing. I believe he has a calf injury. Everybody's scared to death out of those. Mm-hmm. But he was basically saying that what the Lakers should do, in his opinion, he was implying that they should call up the Grizzlies and trade Austin Reaves for Jaren Jackson Jr. And apparently, and you're like, man, all right, well, that's kind of out there. But we do know the Lakers and LeBron and his camp seems a little frosty this year. That's usually how it ends with LeBron. But this, I guess, really pissed off Austin Reaves' agent, and he apparently confronted Rich Paul yesterday at the Lakers game. Because it's about trying to ship my guy out of town. So
he wasn't trying to. Talking about a trade and saying you're trying to ship my guy out, that's a bit of a reach.
Nobody wants to listen. You think if you're one of the faces of the Lakers, Austin Reaves, you think you want to get shipped to Memphis?
I didn't say anybody would like it, but I'm saying to take some of the trade rumors or some of the trade thoughts and make it personal is crazy. Tyler Hero been on trade block for 3 years.
Yes, but it's never been Bam's agent on a podcast thing. They should really dump that Tyler Hero off,
Gotcha. Yeah, it does. It does, because then that guy's going to think it's coming from LeBron.
Exactly, dude. And everybody already thinks LeBron orchestrated the Luka trade, even though he swears that he didn't know.
If LeBron orchestrated that Luka trade, he need to be a GM somewhere.
Hey,
because if he's doing stuff like that, Luka for AD, come on.
LeBron was asked about this by ESPN yesterday. He said, "I think you all know Rich is his own man, and what Rich says is not a direct reflection of how I feel. I hope people know that. I hope people know that they're not. I hope people know that if they're not sensible to know that, I don't know what to tell them." He said on the podcast Rich Paul said, if you're building around Luka going forward, which they are, you need a defensive anchor. That was a point that he was trying to make too. Luka stinks on defense. They should get Jaren Jackson Jr., which, by the way, he doesn't represent Jaren Jackson Jr. I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, does he represent Jaren Jackson Jr.? He does not.
I think sometimes people make comments like his comment could have been perfect if he wasn't the agent for LeBron James. You see what I'm saying? And even though it was probably something that he was thinking his own personal, because the Lakers do need size inside. Like, all those things are great, except you got to be aware of who you represent and how that's going to look.
Dave McMenamin writes, LeBron James told ESPN he did not consult with his longtime friend about the decision to enter the media space. Rich is doing what he's doing. LeBron told ESPN. That's his whole thing. That's what he's doing. That's what he's talking about. I have zero conversations about what topics are going to be or what they're going to talk about. He's his own man with his own platform. One of Reeves' agents approached Rich Paul at the sideline at half court at halftime of the Lakers-Hawks game on Tuesday. They spoke for more than 5 minutes. Man.
Okay, great.
Weird year for the Lakers.
It's just weird in general. We like some of the things that we get our feelings hurt about have, like, it's just changed, right? Like the fact that a person who doesn't represent any of the parties that are being talked about says something like that on a podcast, and the agent of one of the guys flips out.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, what are we doing? Like, is it that offensive?
Well, I think
like that suggestion, is it that offensive?
I think what he's thinking is like, listen, he's talking like, oh, I want that super max with him on the Lakers, or whatever max he gets when LeBron retires. That's what he's thinking.
Whatever he has every right. And listen, if his main objective is to make his player the most amount of money, if you get traded and that affects that, then you can have a problem with it. But you can't really have a problem with him suggesting a trade.
Dr. Toboggan says, Dave McMenamin, is he still LeBron's plant? Oh, 100%. 100%, Dr. Toboggan. You mean when they script those memory answers?
Dude.
All right, Dave, you asked this question. All right. And I'm gonna
think about this.
All of the plays.
If you have to tell people how smart you are, you probably have questions yourself.
I know, but people always do the thing with LeBron when they always see him reading the books in the locker room. He's always on the first page.
He already isn't he playing video game?
Is he playing a video game?
Royal Match. You don't remember he had the book?
That's right. I saw the cutout.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you, if you have to go through those extremes to let people, think you're a certain way, then you got questions yourself. Just be you. Like at this point in his career, LeBron doesn't need to prove nothing to nobody. Stop trying to satisfy people. Just go out and do your thing.
You know what else happened we didn't talk about? Did you see that the Luka got slapped by Dennis Schroder?
Slapped?
He called him. He was Luka. Apparently, he called him the B word multiple times. And then, there's always that story that Dennis Schroder turned down like $80 million from the Lakers because he thought he was going to get more. And then I think he ended up signing for like the minimum or something like that.
Right.
And so Luka, there was video of him telling him, hey, you should have signed that contract on the court. Luka was talking that bleep. And then Dennis Schroder was suspended 3 games for an altercation backstage where he attempted to strike a player. But people are saying he attempted nothing. He slapped Luka.
Open palm.
Can I tell you something? Assume slap is
from my own personal beliefs. An open hand slap from one man to another is worse than punching him and knocking 2 teeth out.
Man,
right?
That's crazy.
Hey, Sometimes you messing with people, like, it has consequences.
He gave
It has, there's consequences behind that.
-1 for Sass on Luka.
I mean, I figured, how did he have time to talk trash to somebody else when he always complaining to the officials?
That's a good point. He does whine a lot.
Goodness.
I'll tell you who else whines a lot. That Devin Booker. Oh my God.
Were you boots on the ground?
No, I'm going boots on the ground tomorrow. But I was like, my God, this Devin Booker whines a lot. I've seen like the videos of Devin Booker whining, like when people double team him in open gym. And
what is he playing basketball in open gym?
That's what people do. And then he gets really mad when people are like, we should guard the NBA guy. So I've seen videos of that, but I've never noticed that I'm like, man, he whines a lot. And apparently they put out the list. It was far and away most technical fouls, Dillion Brooks. I think that it was Draymond, Luka, and then Devin Booker in technical fouls this year.
Devin Booker?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he got really mad at Pele yesterday. And I mean, there was a bleep call. Did you remember that block charge call on Davion Mitchell? That was garbage. Davion Mitchell completely got there in time. And they called it, they gave the superstar rub to Devin Booker. And then poor Davion Mitchell hurt his shoulder.
Oh my goodness. He was hey, it worked fine when he did that layup though. 3 seconds later when they went on a fast break, he shook it off.
Crazy, man. Finally, in the world of drama in the NBA.
Don't.
I'm going to save it.
Why do we have to have the daily?
What? It's just the news.
It's not the news.
It's news, baby.
It's the news that excites you.
It's the news that you make up.
It's not. I didn't make it up.
We're hip
How many
to your
people are
game.
talking about this?
How many people are talking about? It's the number one story it led SportsCenter today.
False.
What are you talking about, dude?
Now you're just lying.
Let's go lie today. The story I'm going to bring up led SportsCenter today.
Brittany, he just lied.
I don't lie. I'm not a liar.
What do you call it? You have another word for it, but it's the same as lying.
Dude, this story I want to talk about led SportsCenter today.
Okay.
I woke up today. I turned on SportsCenter. This was the lead. We got to take a break. We'll get to it. And we'll still talk to you on the other side. I don't like that. There's so much skepticism with you too when it comes to things that I want to bring up. Like it's just not nice.
Track record.
On the break, I looked up to see the latest news on this person. I won't reveal who we're talking about just yet. And I didn't see anything close to.
Well, who did you look up?
The person that's at the bottom of the screen.
You didn't see the story that led SportsCenter today?
I mean, no, not really.
Well, I must be so Canes focused right now. You didn't see this, Brittany, which I understand. But the number one story today on SportsCenter, Leroy, was Giannis Antetokounmpo booing his own fans yesterday.
Why? Can I ask you a question?
What?
This is basically what he did just now. Yes. Well, why do you like what that got to do with Giannis being in and out of?
What's it got to do with? I mean, like, listen, first of all, they got smoked yesterday by 40 by the Timberwolves at home.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a rough watch. And then the fans in Milwaukee were booing him. Booing the Bucks. And then Giannis gets an and one, meaningless one. And he got killed. And then he looks at the crowd. He gives them double thumbs down. And he goes, boo. And he was booing them back. Now, that's been a move he does for road fans. He's doing it to his own fans. And he was asked about it after the game. And, Giannis, he flip-flops like a flapjack. So all of a sudden, how he says, I have the right to be human. I'm all the way in. I'm not going to ask for a trade. That's what he said a week ago. Going to be interesting to see what his mood is now.
Throughout this season, when you or your teammates or your team has gotten booed on the road, you've hit the fans with a thumbs down in those cities. Tonight you got booed at home. You did the same thing. Just kind of, I can't even think of the times you've gotten booed at home.
Never been a part. Do I? Have I? I don't think so. I don't think so, no.
Just
something new for me.
Just what that like kind of?
It's changed. It's the same thing. Doesn't matter. I thrive through adversity. I thrive when people don't believe in me. Doesn't matter if I'm on the road, if I'm at home, if I'm on my family dinner, if I'm at the practice facility against my teammate. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, I've never been a part of something like that before. So it's something new for me. I like it though. I love it.
Well.
I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
This is much ado about nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Because fans are booing. Fans are going to always boo when you're down 40. In Miami, they would just leave. They ain't wasting time to boo.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I came all the way down here and I got to fight all this damn traffic. Right? They just get out of there. Other places, they're more entrenched in their teams.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they have every right to boo. He has every right to respond. We move on. Simple as that.
Do we move
I've
on?
been asked about fans booing.
Sure.
And I've replied before that I've replied with two answers. One, if you want your team to get better and you want your team to play better, booing doesn't necessarily help that. However, I've also said after a game when they said, "Did you hear your fans booing?" I said, I'd have booed my ass too. We weren't playing very good.
Yeah.
So there's that. So it just like it changes. I don't make nothing of it. I just make it's a bad moment for they booed him. He responded. We move on.
Do we move on? That's the question, though. I mean, it's one thing to say, it's another thing to do. It's one thing to say, it's another thing to do. All of a sudden,
can I ask a question? Why do?
What? I'm just,
why do I? It's a nice every time.
It's a nice sentiment. It's a nice sentiment that you're talking about.
It's real. It's real.
You have to remember who you're talking to, Leroy.
I know. Really? I have fallen for it so many times that I get mad at myself. And as I'm explaining this and looking at his face, I know damn well how it's going to be received, but I finished it. And now we're getting, well,
I mean, like, look,
like, couldn't it just be the fact that he was down by 40 and he's frustrated? So when he hears them booing, he's just like, boo.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
maybe. But it's interesting. Giannis almost feels a little underappreciated right now.
You think that's grounds to want to get out of there because you
I
got
don't know
booed that you lost by 40?
He's the one who says he's human, not me. He said that, not
Yeah,
me.
nobody likes to be booed.
So he's a week removed from saying, I would never ask out. I am fully invested.
What does one have to do with the other?
But the fans aren't fully invested in Giannis, and maybe that breaks his heart.
Why not? They weren't invested in him that night because they were losing by 40.
Well,
why can't it change?
That's not fully invested.
Oh, fully invested means you cheer regardless.
No, it's just
name a fan base that does that.
I don't know, dude. I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness! Now, wait a minute.
I'm just
saying.
You
know how many arguments we've got in about the fan thing, and you have taken the totally other side of that.
What do you mean?
As far as, hey, man, the fans have been for 25 years. The fans have been this. The fans have been that. And I'm like,
no. What I counter to what you say is you say that Dolphin fans haven't been patient, which I find ridiculous. I feel like they've been through more marriages that have lasted long and have been through plenty of patience with this. By the way, the last person I remember doing this was the late Vontae Davis, who shushed his own home crowd on a pick six. That was crazy. I don't even remember people booing Vontae Davis. He just did it.
Vontae Davis, we can't talk about him. He's no longer with us.
Yeah, but
so just calm down. Calm down.
I'll calm down.
Listen,
I'll calm down. I'll calm down.
Player in a 40-point loss on both sides.
Right.
The fans are frustrated. The players are frustrated. You might have some interactions that aren't becoming of either side. Like, it happens. Nobody's wrong. The fans are right for booing him. He's okay for not saying, hey, even when we lose by 40, I expect your support. It works both ways. You can, like, everybody can be unhappy with the situation.
You would agree in the press conference, he looked hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, Milwaukee. I mean, okay, think about this. I'm going to try to think from Giannis's perspective. Who made you relevant again? Who made you a contender again? Who won you a championship again?
Sure.
Okay. Isn't there a level of
best
loyalty?
Bucks players since Lou Alcindor?
So as a player, don't you think that you deserve a little more than that? You can think that whether you get it or whether you receive it or not, you can feel that you deserve a little bit better than that.
I would think that. And I think that, it would make me think things.
I did it again.
It would make me think things. You make great points, Leroy.
No.
You make great points.
No.
And I would feel underappreciated, and I would feel it would make me evaluate things. I think any of us, we are human. As Giannis said, we are human. And you're going to boo me? Me? Giannis? I got to play with Kuzma, and you're going to boo me? Kuzma, who's dancing on the Jennifer Hudson show going 3 for 13, and you're booing Giannis? It would make me think things. That's all. I'm not even talking about the Heat. He could go in wherever. I'm just saying.
Oh, stop it. No.
You were talking about the Heat.
Listen. Stop being a phony all the time.
What do you mean?
Pick your spots.
I am picking my spots. I think this was crazy.
Hey.
Double middle. It wasn't even boo.
Yeah,
it was
Dave South said it perfectly. Little finger. You're doing the little finger thing.
I'm not
again.
little finger, dude.
Yes, you are.
They hurt Giannis's heart.
Right.
It's tough. Nobody's ever booed. People have been, disappointed in Bam. Nobody's booed Bam. Interesting.
I'm sure people.
Nobody's booed Bam.
Not like that at the arena. Not like that, dude.
Dude, you booed his ass on the show.
When?
Bam, what are you doing? What are we doing?
What was he doing? But that's my guy. You know that. Come on. Always Bam.
That's my guy too.
I know he's your guy.
But he needs to get out of his own way, right? Like I'm baffled at the last since D Wade left, right? We've had guys who we considered stars and game changers, but weren't always concerned with changing the game all the time. And I think that's what separates stars on this team from any other team. Right? When you go to these certain teams and you see this star, this bona fide star, you see this game changer. He is always trying to change the game. Only with the Heat do you have a star who could go score 40 points one night, right? Just totally take over a game, and then the next night want to get his teammates involved.
Oh, I better not get 8 points on Thursday.
But I'm just saying, Tobin, that's what we've seen. I don't understand why is it that way. Why is it that way here with guys who are capable of changing the game on a nightly basis? Why do they pick and choose? But I used to get mad at Jimmy for the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not nothing new. It wasn't the last person that you knew that, hey, when it came time, he was going to take over the game was Wade. Even when he came back and was old.
Bam said he reached out to D Wade to figure out how to get out of the slump. He called his Mr. Miyagi.
What did he do? Did he send him the voicemail?
I don't know.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like this like is driven me crazy for the last 5 years. That if you're the star on the team, you're the guy that they're depending on and leaning on. When you get to the point where it's the third quarter, you got to take over. You can't have one shot. If you cooking, why can't you cook in the third quarter? Why you all of a sudden want to get everybody else involved? Bam should not have had one shot in the third quarter.
That was crazy. Yeah,
right, but that happens.
But I like that he just took the ball back finally.
Doesn't that happen a lot here and has happened a lot
happens
here?
A ton. It's very frustrating.
Right.
Very frustrating. I agree with you. We're on the same page this segment, dude. You and me.
We're not.
Same page, dude.
No, you're not.
Really? I mean, we're reading along here. It's really great. Really great. I love this. What a Wednesday this is.
I tell you who we do yell at about it.
Who?
Wiggins.
Oh man. He was the only guy who wasn't hitting shots yesterday. I ain't gonna blame him. He got assaulted at the end of the game. Wiggins just minding his own business. Just an innocent bystander.
Well, who's the guy that Spo was gonna say tie game, 5 seconds left, give him the ball and get out of his bleeping way?
I think it's Norm on this team.
But how often does that, like, Tyler tries to do it?
Yeah, he wasn't. They didn't really go to Tyler. It was a Norm Bam fourth quarter. That was noticeable.
Tyler wasn't sharing. That's why.
Tyler
was not a good sharer.
He had a good game yesterday, though.
He had a good game, but I'm saying he wasn't sharing. He was dribble till 5 seconds left to go on the clock. That's not what we're looking for.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get into the mixed bag as Erik Spoelstra is now holding a distinguished honor in sports. We'll get to that coming up next. Welcome back, everybody. It is Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM as we take you rascals up until 2 here on the program. A.J. Greer from the Florida Panthers. He is scheduled to join us next hour when the Cats get done with practice. As they will be back in action. They got to go to stupid Carolina. They don't get to come home.
Is Jennifer going through makeup right now?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know what she's up to, but she I told her yesterday, AJ Greer's her faves, and I was like, hey, he's coming on the show. And she was happy about that. She loves fights and hockey.
Did she ask if he was coming in studio?
She did. She did not. By the way, Sean Paul, good luck. He promised us good luck yesterday.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Sean Paul. He's a man of his word. A man of his word. Let us get to the mixed bag. Leroy, are you familiar with Mike Tomlin?
I am. Like that dude. That dude, I'm a big fan.
He stepped down yesterday, which makes Erik Spoelstra the longest tenured coach in American professional sports.
Really bummed me out.
Go ahead, Brittany. You can play it.
It's interesting that you brought that up because we were talking about it in the weight room this afternoon, and I was sad about that, and I was really bummed about the news about John Harbaugh as well, because I've been fans of both of theirs for a long time. My video room has sent me interview clips of Coach Tomlin for years. I just love everything he's about. He's a coach's coach, super motivational, and how he articulates his thoughts. And Coach Harbaugh, I don't know him, but I feel like I do, through Tom Crean. And then I was almost got involved with a coaching academy concept with him a couple years back. It just didn't work out with the timing. So I've been fans of both of them. It does make me sad. Because they're titans of the game, and I just always thought that they would be there forever, because you can rebuild, you can reload, you can there's obviously major turnover in sports, but you want to have good leadership, you want to have proven high character leadership, and it's a sad day.
Oh, man, deep. This one hit him, Leroy.
Yeah. Usually when you're just used to seeing two faces, right? When you think of football, right? You just grow accustomed to hearing what Mike Tomlin has to say, and not necessarily what John Harbaugh is going to say, but are the Ravens going to get over the hump this year? Right? Those two conversations you have every year, bar none, right? And I think one of the unfortunate things about Mike Tomlin is that if you coach long enough, they only look at the negative aspect of what you do. And the fact that he has lost the last 7 playoff games is what stands out. But I would ask Pittsburgh fans, and ask, the organization, if not for Mike Tomlin, would you ever even have been in that situation in the first place? And that's just kind of a serious question you need to have. It's like, look at what he's doing with this. Are we going to penalize him for having success without the best talent?
Yeah, it's one of those things too. I feel like you look at how much and sometimes change of scenery is good, but I think you also look about how many people are going crazy for having that kind of reputation around the league.
The most important thing I got out of all that is, and I could tell you when I went through it with Bill Belichick getting fired, it was mixed reviews. Some guys hated it. Some guys were okay with it.
When you say guys, you mean teammates?
Yeah. But we were going to a different city anyway. So it got lost. Like you didn't really have a chance to, you weren't around or together enough to kind of see how everybody really felt about it. But from what I'm hearing, when Tomlin came into the meeting the Monday, he got a standing ovation from his players.
That's kind of goosies.
And so I think sometimes the players understand what they've had to endure to get to that point and give him a lot of credit for that. And I think fans and sometimes the organization doesn't see that day-to-day process that you can convince a guy who is not talented enough to play above his means and help your team win. That part of it, as far as coaching, you can know the X's and O's. Mike is incredible at X's and O's, but that's not the issues that we have with Mike.
McDaniel or Tomlin?
McDaniel.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of him, great segue. You familiar with Dan Soder? We've had him on the show before. Comedian.
Yeah.
He's friends with Mike McDaniel. Remember we had him on?
Yeah.
He was at the Improv, and he told us he actually accused Mike McDaniel of being a fake Miami Heat fan because he said he was just kissing Spo's ass for good tickets. Well, he has a podcast, as many people do. And he reacted to the news. And remember, they're childhood friends. These guys go way back in the Colorado days. And he had some thoughts on Mike McDaniel getting fired.
Watching McDaniel go through this as like a head coach.
Yeah.
It's like been my buddy since 7th grade.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's like awesome. He's an NFL coach.
That's incredible.
And he worked his way up to a head coach.
Well, he'll get a gig, right? Somewhere else?
Absolutely. In fact, I think he's better off because I think, and listen to me right now, I think it's a organization. I think it's ran by an old that stabbed Mike in the back after he told him he was going to be all right for another season, and the Dolphins. And honestly, Miami as a comedy town.
Jesus.
Wow.
That
went to hell in a handbasket very quickly. Right?
Did he just call out Frog Boy?
He called out everybody. Frog Boy. He took a stray. Here's what I would say.
Brittany is horrified right now.
Sometimes when we like people, sometimes when we have childhood friends and we have a loyalty to them, unlike what most people have because you have that long-standing relationship, I think we overlook our closest of friends' flaws, right? And what I would say is I understand why Mike McDaniel was fired, because there's certain things that as the years went on, he actually got worse at. And one of those things is, and I said it week after week after week, is adjustments coming out of halftime. So every game, they were pretty much close in most of the games. In the second half, in the third quarter, they get blown out. Right. And so it's one of the same reasons, one of the flaws they had with Mike Tomlin, that this year they were minus like 80 in the third quarter as far as points.
What's going on with these third quarters? Spo was talking about the third quarter yesterday too. Different sport, I understand, but he was like, they can't figure out the third quarter.
Right. And so from that standpoint, to just totally absolve Mike from that.
He's a good friend. That's all
He's a good friend.
He's a
right.
good friend.
So I don't make nothing of it other than if one of my good friends that had happened to, I would kind of be petty against the city and the organization also.
Don't let Jay Crawford wrong you.
City? Why the city? What'd the city do to you?
He's lashing out.
Strays. Strays. Just like Frog Boy took a stray. He ain't coaching the Dolphins.
I think he has a different problem with Miami. I don't think it has anything to do with Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, might have been those 3 people that came to watch him.
Right? Dang.
We should ask Frog Boy, be like, hey, did Dan Soder, did he not sell so well down here? Like, why does he hate
right.
Why does
yeah,
he
we need to get to the bottom of this. But again, there's nobody who was a bigger Mike McDaniel fan than me, while still pointing out the things that I had a big issue with. And you don't have to separate the two. You can say you really like some of the things he does offensively while pointing out the things that maybe were an issue and caused the team to not do well. You can do that.
Dade South says a lot of comedians hate South Florida crowds for some reason. I don't know.
I just think, I guess people have better things to do than go to comedy shows.
Make me laugh. How about that? Maybe you guys aren't funny enough.
Maybe you're not funny.
Right. I don't know. But I just look at it as he's just supporting his friend. And when you're on a podcast, it's like a snowball rolling downhill.
He got very emotional.
And he kind of picked up first. It was just like, change might be good and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, then another thing. And it just kind of.
By the way, A.J. Greer just got a note from the Panthers. Practice ran a little long. He's going to be more like 12:30 a day, but he will join us next hour.
Okay.
He will join us next hour. J-Fix says a lot of comedians aren't funny. Boo-hoo.
It's so true.
Right.
He's just mad because he didn't make anybody laugh.
And I'm not a comedian, but here's what's weird. You are in an environment where people want to have a good time or going to laugh. So that means they may not laugh at your funniest of jokes, but they're going there to laugh.
Right.
So if they go there and they're not laughing, how bad are you?
Not only they're going there laughing, most places you go to, you have to have a 2-drink minimum, so you're going to be liquored up. So if you ain't laughing, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Right.
Finally, let's hear from Norman Powell here. Norman Powell, he also got into it. It was a little lost because it was earlier in the game. He also fell victim to the irritant that is Dillion Brooks. And Norman Powell looked like he was about to go kill Dillion Brooks, and Bam Adebayo scooped him up and took him away.
Scooped him up.
He's like, no. But here's the thing, Dillion Brooks, he looked like he was trying to take a low blow at him. Like, he blew past him, and then he went double hands, and it looked like he was trying to go below the belt, and Norm did not take that well. Here's what Norman Powell had to say on it.
Yeah, we know what Dillion Brooks does. We know his antics. We know what he tries to do. I've played against him since college. I know how he is. And I didn't feed into it for the majority of the game. Him trying to bump, hold, foul talk. I just ignore him. But when he pushed me, that's when that was my line in the sand. But Bam held me back. We got the technical free throw, and we keep going. He's going to beat him, and it doesn't really bother me no much.
But it kind of did. Right? He just said.
It bothered me, but I was going to.
That was my line in the sand. Well, if you have a line in the sand, then yes, he can get to you.
I love Norm, I do, but it was a bit of an overreaction.
Well, I think
here's what it was, Brittany. Here's what you have to understand in these situations. We look at the thing that gets them going, but we don't look at all the things that might be the final straw.
I also think, Brittany, I think Dillion was trying to swipe below the belt. I think that's what he was upset about. They kind of Norm stripped him going for a layup, and then he had the extracurriculars where he was following through low, and I think that was like, no, you're not going to do that. So,
but again,
we get very sensitive when you try and hit below the belt. It's a no-go zone.
It's also the culmination of all the other things.
You ever see Josh Allen react to Christian Wilkins?
Of course.
Where is Christian Wilkins? Do we need to put a
don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody scooped him up. Nobody scooped him up. I don't know if he was, and I don't know if it was a health thing. I don't know if it was because he's got the grievance. I don't know. It was he's just out and about. I don't know. I'd assume I think I've seen people on Dolphins Reddit say they've seen him. He's down here. He's still living down here, I think. But I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. Want to come home? Please?
What's wrong with you?
Seal it on up. All right, we'll take a break. We'll get you caught up with your headlines. A.J. Greer from the Panthers is going to join us next hour. We'll get you the Heat. They got to win. The Dolphins search continues, and we'll get some more into that on who could be the man who lands this job. We're back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM as we take you guys up until 2. Let's get to our headlines this third hour of the program, brought to you by Doral Hyundai. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. Miami Heat, they beat the Suns yesterday, 127-121. Bam Adebayo, 29 points with the victory. He becomes the Heat's second all-time leading scorer, passing the great Alonzo Mourning. So congrats to Bam, and thank God that he won. I needed that. You muted, Leroy.
There we go. He would be so much higher if he hadn't spent those stints away from Miami.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
And the health issues.
Yes.
And the health issues for sure. Ty Simpson, you see this Alabama quarterback?
He declared for the draft, correct?
Declared for the draft, and there was a lot of fodder over the last couple of days, that the Miami Hurricanes were trying to get him, and he's claiming that the Canes offered him $6.5 million to play for them this season. And he's sticking with the NFL.
If that was the case, let me tell you. How can I put this? Whoever you have in your ear, get rid of them.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you why. There ain't no place you could get drafted where you're going to make $6.5 million your first year. Nowhere. You can be the first pick in the draft, which you're not going to be. You're not going to make $6.5 million.
Yeah, maybe he sneaks in as a first round pick. Like I've seen some mocks have him there.
And then you're going to screw yourself because if you sneak into the first round, that's that 5th year.
Man,
So
he said
if he's drafted in the second round, think about this. You would have made in 1 year what your whole contract would be. So explain to me, to anybody who's advising this young man, if that is true, the Canes offered him that money, that it is a financial benefit to go to the NFL.
Crazy.
It like
he said,
I just wish we had people out there that were giving these young men advice that weren't thinking about their own personal gains.
Maybe somebody can get a hold of him for reals. Because, like, look, I mean, people were saying this first happened that like Carson Beck and Cam Ward both declared for the draft, and then the Canes were still able to scoop them up. But he said that the Canes and Tennessee offered him 4, then Ole Miss went to 4, and then apparently after the Canes lost out on Levitt, who where did he end up going? Jennifer, you remember what school he went to? He went to the ASU QB.
Yes.
Where the hell did he end up going? But anyway, LSU. Thank you. He's going with Lane. Thank you, Dade South. He after that, apparently the Canes lost out on him. He's claiming they upped the offer to $6.5 million. Crazy.
Even at $4.5 million. I think the number 1 pick's contract is 20-something million, all fully guaranteed.
I'll go look at Cam Ward's contract. I'll see what he got.
He got like what, 25 million?
You get a 4-year, $48 million.
48 million, fully guaranteed.
12. Let me see. No. You get a $32 million signing bonus. 48 is guaranteed, but your average annual is 12. Right. But I'll look at Jackson Dart. I'll see. Like, what did he get, Jackson? Jackson Dart. He got 4 years, $16 million, which is guaranteed. But your You get your annual's $4, $8 million is guaranteed.
So
the first.
And what pick was he?
I think he was like 20th, 21st.
There you go. So there, let's go there. That's a first rounder, right? You get $1.5 million more.
And you get to live it up down here.
Well, it's just not. Well, the one thing that I would say here's what I would. If and these aren't what the people in his ear are telling him. But if you're going to be a first rounder, right, you're going to get more guaranteed money. But you also have to consider the situation that you're going to be put in. Somebody who drafted 20th, you would think that they have a veteran in place. Now, that didn't happen with Jackson Dart. They thought they did, but they
traded
really
back
didn't.
in, yeah.
Right. But in most cases, when you look at the players that were drafted in the 20s like that, they didn't come in and were expected to be the starter right away.
No, I mean, they had Mr. Unlimited.
Well, no, but even if you go back in the history of it, well, Patrick Mahomes was what?
Patrick Mahomes is in top 10, but he's at it. They traded to get him. But Aaron Rodgers
Rodgers was 20 something. Right.
Jordan Love too.
Right. So like, I don't know. You also have to consider how much could your stock improve or drop, right? Is it the thing that I would weigh at this point if I was him was, where am I slated to be, which the people that represent you or the people closest to you are going to lie to you. So you need somebody to give you the honest truth. And, you know, is it possible that I could make that worse by playing another year, even if I'm getting the money?
It's a pretty good it's a pretty good deal. I mean, obviously that's right. I mean, $6.5 million to come play for a year of college. I just don't know how many I've seen like he's a consensus first round guy like that. Now maybe, you know, people fall in love with these quarterbacks. I mean, that is a thing. You know, they fall in love, and as you mentioned, a lot of teams will jump up in the first round taking because you get that 5th year option.
Right. But I mean,
Dave Sav saying he wanted to protect some non-existing Alabama legacy. I don't even know who's excited about drafting an Alabama quarterback at this point.
And Bryce Young didn't do too bad this season.
And here's what I would also say.
He did respectable.
Yeah.
Here's what I would also say to Ty. If you're looking at the history of the last few years at quarterback in Miami, your stock ain't gonna drop.
No, and they have him as a number 3 quarterback off the board.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's what.
So it goes. Well, they have the Oregon quarterback ranked higher than Mendoza.
They got a lot of Mendoza's kind of now because of his playoff run is now like become consensus one, but Dante Moore.
So those two are 1 and 2.
But I haven't.
That Oregon quarterback, I didn't see. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see top 5 in him. I just don't see it. This is crazy that where we are as far as quarterbacks, because if Mendoza is 1, clearly he's number 1, regardless of what you say his flaws are. When it was time for that guy to make a play during the season and the playoffs, he made a play, and that has to carry some weight with any of these other. When you see him playing at the highest level and making the plays need to be made from that position, that has to move him up the board above a lot of kids who haven't shown they could do that, but have the potential of doing it.
Yeah, Mel Kiper has Mendoza number 1 and Dante Moore number 2.
Okay. I'm still, I don't want to wish bad on the guy, but I'm going to tell you like this. I don't see it. I don't see it. Just watching that game and watching him throw the football, I didn't see it.
Wow.
I know. You reading the Marcos?
I am.
Ooh.
Listen, I'm not going to read your text, Marcos, but very interesting on Mr. Soder.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's your story to tell, not mine, buddy. Very interesting, though. You would think that you want to come down here to get away from the snow. It's crazy. Very interesting. Also, the Marlins made a trade. Ryan Weathers was dealt to the Yankees for 4 prospects. Peter Bendix is wheeling dealing. Mm-hmm. He's really trying. I actually appreciate this from Bendix. I know you're not a big fan of the prospect thing. Ryan Weathers, kind of like hurt a lot. I know, legacy Marlin with his dad, old Stormy, has a lot of talent. Hell, and I think the Marlins are really keen that they're going to bring in one of these top 2 guys this year in White and Snelling. So rotation's crowded, and I think Bendix is like, I got to find some bats. I
Understand. I understand the plan, right? And I understand it. I'm more understanding when you talk about how many pitchers you have in the room and you can use those pitchers to get some bats. I understand that. What has troubled me in years past is we would do that regardless of who the guy is because he's getting ready to make a bunch of money. Yeah. And I'm like, you're trading them for prospects that hope that he ends up being the guy that you just got rid of. That's what I used to have a problem with.
You think that you think that like Peter Bendix has a whiteboard, or do you think he has like a tech smart board? Like, what do you think he has in his office?
Analytical board?
An analytical board with all the prospects.
With WAR and all that stuff.
Chafik says chalkboard. I don't think so.
I just think the way they do things is this, right? This is kind of the Billy Bean thing of way of doing things. Remember with Oakland, with the A's, is that you don't necessarily just look at the batting average. You look at contact numbers. You look at guys who don't strike out. You look at guys who can put it in play. You look at guys that have high batting averages, guys who are always on base, and you kind of build the team around that. And then you can add some bats, right? But that's kind of the infrastructure to score runs. You have a bunch of pitching. And so now instead of trading a guy, that was going to just cost a lot of money, you're trading some of the strengths that you have in the rooms that you have for the guys that you want to fill those other spaces. I'm all for that. I understand that. You can't have, 10 pitchers on the roster that could be starting pitchers somewhere. You need to use that to get other talent.
Well, they got Dylan Lewis, Brendan Jones, Dylan Jaso, and Juan Matthias. I think
2 Dylans?
Yeah, 2 Dylans. And I think Dylan was Lewis was the one they were really after, even in the Cabrera stuff, because they talked to the Yankees about the Cabrera trade. Mm-hmm. But they ended up getting dealt to the Cubs. So, and they got Owen Casey in that one, who's hopefully going to be a big power bat, which that's what they hit on with Stowers. Correct. And man, they nailed on Marcy too. Marcy looks like a player last year. So, all right, Bendix, he loves prospects.
Listen, I'm not in the boat of, oh, here we go again, because I understand that part of it. That
I'm only going to feel that way when they do it to Sandy, because I love Sandy. Don't you trade my Sandy?
There's nobody they could bring in that will replace Sandy.
Love him.
But what if your young pitchers who you have the rights for 3 or 4 years, what if they end up holding the fort down?
I'm not ready for the fort to be held by anybody else yet.
I know. I'm just saying that this is kind of how they're doing.
Even if his arm is chewed to bits and washed because he was a maniac pitching more than anybody in this day and age, I love him. Take a break. We're back with more after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM as we take you guys up until 2 here on the program.
Hello, Jennifer.
Oh, looky Lou. Hello, brr.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Oh, we're doing fine.
Listen
How
to
are
that
you?
voice.
How are you?
She's
I'm
got
doing
her.
fantastic.
It's great to hear. That's great to hear.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy. You guys see what's going on with this Ja Morant, huh?
Will you stop? He's not going to be a Heat guy. He's not going to be on the Heat.
Okay. All right.
So, look, can I ask you a question? What do you think you're going to have to give up for him?
Not much.
Okay. And how does he help this Heat team?
Well, you got an alpha.
A reality answer,
You
not
wanna talk-
your dream.
Here's what I would say.
Imaginary.
Allow me the assumption that he's been in the bag a little bit this year because he doesn't like it there in Memphis. Okay, that he's by the way stealing all of Jimmy Butler's stuff. He's done. I saw some quote that he's like, people are calling you emo Ja. I'm like, what are you gonna do next, dude? Open a coffee shop? Like, I mean, you did the joy thing, the emo thing. What's next? All right, big face Ja.
Fall Out Boy video.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find something that's your own there, Ja. Although he is good at ammunition celebrations.
Oh, you know what? Walk into town with a horse.
There you go.
Can't
There you
forget
go.
that.
First thing he has to do is go apologize to Khalil Ware. That's what he's got to do.
You still have not answered.
So I think that it gives the Heat we talk about needing the guy who's going to take over and the guy who knows he needs a game to go cook and a game that he's going to be looked to as the man. They don't really have that. They have a guy who's doing that this year. And doesn't matter. There's guys who haven't been good shooters. I mean, Dwayne Wade wasn't a good shooter.
You
he wasn't.
Tobin.
Now all of a sudden you okay with comparing D Wade to Ja?
I'm just saying he wasn't
like you are out of your rabbit ass mind with this.
He wasn't a good.
You are willing to sacrifice your
Iverson,
favorite player.
Allen Iverson wasn't a great 3-point shooter.
You're comparing him to Allen Iverson?
I'm not comparing him to anything. You just said, does he need to be a good shooter? Not every good player in this league has to be a good shooter.
That wasn't my question. My question was, how does he make this Heat team better?
So I do think you're going to probably have to do another move with one of the guards. I don't know who. Tyler, Norm. They're going to have to make that decision probably anyway, because who are they keen on paying on this team going forward? Ja's at a salary point where they're probably like at the most comfortable paying Tyler Hero, but probably a little maybe richer than Tyler Hero. So if you're going with Ja's ceiling as opposed to maybe where Tyler Hero's at, maybe you feel comfortable because you have the more knowledge. Tyler's more mature than Ja Morant. But as far as what can he help, rim threat, being able to get to the rim, having more of a true point guard, guys who can set up the bigs on the pick and roll, which by the way, you noticed they used a lot more yesterday to get Bam comfortable. They're kind of they're wavering away from old Noah LaRoche here. So
now my other question would be, and the guy that Ja hated the most, you're going to bring him.
Well, he didn't hate Noah LaRoche. He did not like the offense. I think it wore on him, which by the way, we're kind of seeing happened here. Did we not? Even Norman Powell has talked about it. Like it's the whole thing is the Heat really went to an extreme on it, and they feel like that it needed a little bit of a mix up. Like people had figured it out, which by the way, their numbers against elite defenses were not very good. Now, does it have to do with the system? Does it have to do with the players? I don't know. But it did feel like the Heat's gimmickiness of their offense did need a little bit of a tweak. So I don't think that would be a huge problem. So I think that's the thing is you're getting it's getting somebody who has high ceiling talent for very little. Am I giving up picks for him? No. Kick the sharpest of rocks, dude. The gun celebration guy? Out of this world. No. But if you're telling me I could get Norman, if I could get him for Fontecchio and Rozier's contract, yeah, dude, I'm going to entertain that. Sorry. Don't yell at me.
I just think that you have basically, to make your point, compared Ja to D-Wade.
That's not what I did, and I don't like that you did
Yes,
that.
you did.
I'm not
You
going
said
to
D-Wade couldn't
I'm
shoot
gonna get back
either.
to. I didn't do that. I'm not going to let you do that. We're going to talk to our guest right now because he's very kind enough to join us. But I'm not going to let you do what you just did. All you said was he can't shoot, and I said, well, D-Wade wasn't a great shooter. So don't put words in my mouth.
This conversation was totally different than that.
Let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, and ToyotaofHollywood.com. A true badass and a champion joining us there. A.J. Greer from your Florida Panthers joining us here on the program. A.J., thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate you.
How you doing, guys?
We're great. We're happy to have you, man. Great game the other day. Great to see you guys cap off, I guess, this halfway point of the road trip with the win. Yeah. How did you feel? You had that Canadiens game where Paul was saying, I didn't like where you guys were at. 2 big wins to bounce back. How did you feel you guys responded from that?
Yeah, it was great. Right away from the first shift, I thought we had some jump. We were hard on pucks. We played well defensively, which transitioned into offense, and that's kind of the game that we need to play. And that's what won us the last 2 cups.
You're getting some time now moved because of all the injuries you guys had. You're moving up with Verhaeghe and Benny a little bit. But do you miss your Bash brother and Gadjevich and Nosek? Do you miss that fourth line that was so key? Does it hurt your heart at all that they're not there, that you guys aren't just wreaking havoc and kicking ass together?
Yeah, injuries are always a tough part of the game, and obviously we had a lot of chemistry last year, and it's so fun to play with those guys. And that's kind of the game that I play. And so when I do get the chance to play a bigger opportunity with guys like Benny and Swaggy, I can't really change the way I play. I have to create space and do the same things that give me success to allow them to do what they do best. And offensively, it's just kind of been coming along, and they understand where I'm going to be on the ice. I kind of understand where they go in certain situations. So the more we play together, the more we've been getting a lot of great looks. And I think, at heart, I know what I am and I know who I am as a player, but I also know that I do have some offensive upside, and I'm really fortunate to have had this opportunity to kind of showcase that.
AJ, how tough is that? Because like in other sports, you may talk about the players needing to get acclimated to one another, whether it's a quarterback and a receiver or a point guard and a center or whatever. But with you guys, the lines are constantly changing with injuries and stuff like that. I can't figure out, like, how long does it take to get comfortable before it then changes again? And so I'm confused by that, because to me, it just looks like, I know this guy can play, this guy can play. Why can't they just keep it moving? And I know it's not that easy.
It's not. I'd say like the hardest thing is just going from, playing a certain style and going up in the lineup and playing with world-class players, the mental battle of wanting to do more and wanting to complement them in a way that you make sure that they're happy and you make sure that they get the puck and they get their looks, and you don't want to disturb kind of their peace. And I had that battle at the start, but I think the confidence in the coach is putting me in that position and having talks with me about staying in my lane and not worrying too much about the offensive part. It'll come. That's kind of stuck with me, and it actually has blended in very well. Like the simpler game that I played, the more looks that I was getting and the more offensive opportunities that I was kind of presented with. And it almost seemed like Benny and Swaggy were kind of converting them to my style of play. Almost it kind of introduced them to a heavier game in a more forecheck based game. So it is tough because you don't, like you said, you don't have much time to think about it. You don't have much time to acclimate to it. It's, you're put in a situation, you're put in a game, and this is your opportunity. And for a guy like me, especially who's in a contract year, I mean, this was an opportunity for me to shine, and you either take and run with it, or unfortunately the next guy's up. So
Right.
I'm fortunate that I've had good bounces, and I'm fortunate that I've put in the work, and mentally I was ready for that opportunity. It kind of just came all the way around where, I had, a lot of talks with myself in my mind, like, hey, this is my year. Like, this is going to be it. And I'm going to put myself in a good position to put my family in a good position. And unfortunately, we've had injuries, but for a guy like me, it gave me an opportunity to shine in a different role, to show people that I'm able to do that. Because in a stacked lineup like we have, a championship winning team, like, it doesn't happen often where a guy goes from 4-2 and gets put in a situation where he normally is playing 8 to 10 minutes and now is playing 15 to 17.
Right.
So it was almost, I was thrown into the fire and I was told to not change a thing. And it kind of just, things just rolled the right way. And I tried to just, ride the wave. And that's what I've been doing. And now I'm in a position where I feel very comfortable playing that type of game.
When you're a good fighter on the ice, do people put you in a box? Like, is it one of those things where not a penalty box? Do they put you like in a thing like, oh, he's a goon? Like, but you obviously have a lot of skill. You have guys like you and Benny who, are not to be trifled with. But when you get that reputation, coming up in hockey, can that box you in a little bit?
I definitely think there's like boxes you're put in once you turn pro. I knew I was a power forward growing up. I was a bigger, lankier kid, and I put on a lot more muscle at a young age than everyone else did. I wasn't the best skater, but I knew how to use my size and my abilities to get around the ice. I think once I got to pro, and the longer I was in the minors for, and I wasn't, that box was gotten, smaller and smaller to, okay, he's a fourth line guy. This is all he's going to be. And it is what it is. He's a fringe NHLer. And in my mind, I knew that wasn't the case. And so I had to work on, different aspects of my game, my skating, and my offensive instincts, my breakouts, when I get the puck in tight situations, breaking out of the zone, I had to be that guy that could make that play 9 out of 10 times. And the time that it didn't happen, well, it was the right intention. It hit a skate or something. You know what I mean? I had to dial in certain little parts of the game that could differentiate me from other players. And so I really dialed in on my skating and that IQ part of the game. I'd say would be one of the things. So yeah, definitely boxes. There's boxes all the way around. And I got lucky. I was put in certain situations at times where I had opportunities to play a little more an offensive game, and I've flourished. And so I just was ready for that opportunity. I think that's kind of how I see life. Is you got to be ready for certain situations, and once you're ready for those situations can bring on other opportunities. But I definitely think there's boxes involved for sure, just because of you're trying to see where a guy fits, and small sample sizes. Like, I only had played 40 games 4 years into the league. So that's a tough thing, because you don't get acclimated to the speed of the game. You don't get your touches. You only play a few minutes a night, and you want to do so much that you're not playing your game because you're so tight, and you want to make sure you do everything right. And I remember at a young age, like, I was in the earlier in my career, I wanted to be so right with my game, and I wanted to stand out, that I had to do something big every night, and that's not how you do it. And so, I would look at the clock and I'd be like, all right, I got 2-3 shifts left. Like, I'll just go fight, or I'll make sure I stand out in some type of way. But that, you know, realistically, when you think about that, it's not the right way to do things. So yeah, it's kind of a crazy concept to think about, but you got to find a way to get out of that box, man.
Your games against the Tampa Bay Lightning have become just ridiculous because you guys don't have any room left in the penalty box with what's gone on with this rivalry. What is it like leading up to games like that when you know you guys hate each other's guts and that there's just going to be maybe more shenanigans than hockey, and you know that you're going to be a guy looked to kind of keep order?
Yeah, it's a mental battle because you do want to, you know, focus on the game. You want to get those 2 points, and you know there's going to be extra stuff going on, but we're focused on getting 2 points, and we're focused on, you know, getting into the playoffs and doing what we do best and playing playoff hockey. So I think being a 2-time Stanley Cup champ coming into this season, you're going to get the best from everyone, and you're going to, you know, you're going to get some pissed off teams that we had knocked out the years before. So yeah, there's going to be extra edge. There's going to be extra competitiveness, and we expect that. But the good thing is that we understand what our game is, and we understand how to play playoff hockey night in and night out. And that's one of the reasons why we've been having success.
But in a regular season, I imagine playoffs this is an easy answer, but in a regular season, what's a better feeling, AJ, when you win a fight on the ice or when you score a goal?
I mean, what gets you paid?
You tell me.
That's it. There you go. That's it.
No, there's nothing. No, listen, there's nothing better than scoring a goal in the NHL. And it doesn't matter when and where. When you score a goal in the National Hockey League, you know, it's the best feeling ever. Obviously, winning a fight and getting the crowd pumped up is a great feeling as well. But you can't reenact the feeling of scoring a goal in the National Hockey League.
How much you marvel at Sergei Bobrovsky's flexibility? Because I like every one of these games. Sometimes he pulls out some sorcery, like he did that last game, and like, I'm sure you're not surprised by it that anything that he can do. But I mean, just it seems like he can always top himself with just the way he's able to bend, and even at his age, it seems incredible.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Like, this guy puts in so much work in the gym. He's got his routine that's like A to Z, just covers so much, like hours of, you know, gym work, pool work. You know, he rides a cycling bike to the rink. Like, he's nuts, man. I think he's unbelievable, an unbelievable person, but just his work ethic, and he wants to be so good. He wants to be the best. And it shows, like, in the games, he never quits on a play. And like, at the beginning of the last year, when it was my first year with the team, I thought, oh man, this guy's playing crazy hockey. Like, he's just, like you said, making highlight reel saves. But then the more I play with him, the more he's doing them constantly. And it's just like, maybe that's just the way he plays. Like, maybe these are just routine saves, because it happens so many times. Like, it's unbelievable. And obviously, every time it happens, the bench kind of looks at each other being like, oh my God, he just saved us. You know?
What is A.J. Greer's favorite thing to do to relax off the ice? What do you do to decompress?
Well, I got a 2-year-old now, so
you're not decompressing. Okay.
Not decompressing as much as I used to, but I like to make music. I like to play video games. I like to watch movies. Nothing crazy.
Is there, like, what type of music? Are you like in rock, or are you a DJ? Like, what is the thing that you
No,
like to make?
I used to DJ, but now I've done production for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's kind of something I do on the side just to take my my head away from hockey. And I've done a lot less now that I have children, but yeah, it's something I do to kind of get my creative side of things out, and yeah, express myself in a different way, I guess.
It was interesting how you were talking about roles and getting that opportunity. It feels a lot like your guy on the Heat, Norman Powell, is doing that with Miami this year, because he was a guy who kind of got put into a box as a role guy early on, and now he's getting the chance. You guys, you banter on that at all? Like, is there that communication? Because it's kind of cool to see the local friendship crossing sports between you two.
Yeah, we met a few years back in New York City. We spent some time together for a week. And Norm was an amazing guy, just kind of shared stories and talked about how his sport compared to mine in certain aspects, how the league worked, how the teams do certain things. And it was just a cool experience. And we actually, kept in contact a bit. And it's funny because he was a role player when I met him, and we were I remember we were in an Uber one time, and I was like, what's your goal for this season? He's like, man, I really want to score the first bucket in the new Clippers stadium. He's like, I just have been envisioning myself like hitting a 3 for the Clippers, like the first one of the season. I'm like, that's crazy. That's awesome to think about, right? And I don't know, everything just kind of like jumped up from there. Like, he's been just a superstar, and to see him kind of grow like that and just become the face of, now the Heat and, the All-Star game and all this stuff. Like, it's just so cool to see a guy who, like you said, was a role player and now is relied on as one of the top players and is a vet, and like just that veteran presence on the court. Like, it's really cool to see, and I'm super happy for him. Great person, deserves everything, and puts in the work, like puts in so much work.
Appreciate you being with us. There's a couple more before we get you out of here. Speaking of All-Star games, did you like the Winter Classic? How did it? How I know the game did not go your guys' way. Did you like the experience of it? How was it skating in 60-degree weather? Was that a great experience?
That was great. I loved it. It's always fun to do. That was my second one, and being able to share that time with my family and friends, and having that experience outside with your team, you can't beat it. The Winter Classic was something that I religiously would watch when I was a kid, and to be in it and to do it in Miami, it was a cool, really cool thing. The ice was a little slower, obviously, and like you were sweating way more than normal. I mean, they told us they were going to close the dome. It was going to be cold, and then they were going to open it up, and it was nighttime at Miami. It was going to be cold, and it was all good. And man, I don't know, it was just so much hotter than I expected. But the result was not the one we wanted, but overall, great experience, great turnout. And I think that just everyone around like made it so easy for us as players. Security and all that stuff. We got to ride Ferraris to the game. Cool fan experience. I think the whole league and the event staff and the people working at the stadium and everything, they just made it so fun for us as players. And I know that my family had a great time, and it was easy for them to get in and out. And at the game, they had a great time. So overall, I'm very happy and very fortunate to have done that.
Yeah, it was a cool visual for sure. And finally, it seems like you guys are going to get Matthew Tkachuk back sometime close. What do you think that's going to do for you guys? Because it's obviously that's got to be a big boost for you guys for the stretch run.
Yeah, he brings in so much good energy, positive energy, and again, is an amazing player. He creates so much offensively, and he's kind of that X factor player, right? In big games, he always shows up, and he always kind of brings our team to another level. So we're really excited to get him back. And, just having him in practice, you can kind of tell the energy's a little higher than usual. And so it's really fun to have him around.
How the hell is Barkov skating at the Winter Classic already? What was he like, Wolverine? What's going on there?
I don't know. This guy was squatting and doing box jumps like 3 weeks after surgery. Never seen anything like it. It's everyone in the gym was stunned.
That's nuts. AJ, man, listen, it's been a thrill watching this season, man. Thanks for giving us so much time. Good luck this year. All the health along the way. And we can't wait to keep watching you.
Thanks, AJ.
All right, there you go. A.J. Greer from your Florida Panthers
Feel
joining us
better,
there.
Jennifer?
What?
We'll take a break and we'll reset. Appreciate A.J. Greer stopping by the program. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Tobin and Leroy here with you. Final hour of the program. Thanks again to A.J. Greer for stopping by the program. Did you enjoy that, Jennifer?
What happened last segment? I think I blacked out.
He is a delightful. He is very insightful. Very reflective man, deep thinker, this A.J. Greer. You know, I got to be honest with you, now that we've spoken with both of them.
Both of who?
Both of the Bash brothers, him and Jonah Gadjevich.
Mm-hmm.
Gadjevich seems like more of the wild card to me, and he's got to be the thinking tough man.
I see it.
You know, like you always have the one who's the real loose cannon.
I look at it a little bit differently in that sometimes you go into a job where you end up being that type of guy, but that's not why you went into said job.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he may be cool with, smashing heads, but in the end, he wants to be an all-around hockey player.
Yes.
So your role doesn't always necessarily mean that's who you are. And that's kind of where we get, everybody thinks, oh, here come tough guys. He's like, no, I want to score.
I have a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
Let's get
to think about me. Everybody thinks of me, and when they say Leroy, oh, you great short yardage back. I'm like, no.
You did that to yourself. Your marketing did that.
I know.
Blame John Madden. That's not on us.
Yeah. And it wasn't even for the damn 3 yards I said it.
Yeah.
It was more along the lines of the rest of the conversation was you got to know what your role is on a team full of great players. And you got to do the best of anybody in the league at your role. Otherwise, they'll find somebody else to do that role if you try to do too much. That was it.
Man. What we need to do, I saw that Caliendo was on with the boys in the afternoon yesterday. Next time he's on, we got to get him to do his John Madden of him giving the line. Boom. Headlines are brought to you by Doral Hyundai. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. As the Miami Hurricanes getting ready for their championship game on Monday.
Seems like forever, right?
Indiana Hoosiers. It does feel like forever, dude. It feels like forever. Are you as nervous? So, Brittany, what's your mindset now? Because you were a nervous wreck the last time we gauged you. Now they're here. Are you now even more nervous, or are you proud? Where are you at with your feelings about the Miami Hurricanes right now?
So I think I've crossed over to being proud.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I I think I finally.
It's hard. It's a hard nut to crack with you.
I know it is, but I felt like with Ole Miss, I knew it was gonna be like a in the mud game, so that's what made me nervous. And I felt like if we lost that game, I knew I would be disappointed because it's like
you felt like they were better.
Yeah, well, who? The Canes?
The Canes were better than Ole Miss. Like you would have been disappointed if they lost that game because you thought they were better, or you just
I thought we were better than Ole Miss, but I also feel like it would have been such a heartbreaking game to lose because we dominated it so much. So that was my nervousness. I knew that it was going to be a tough one going into it. This game is the one I feel like I don't know what to expect because we haven't seen a team like Indiana this entire season.
You basically, Brittany, contrary to popular belief, you have. It's the Miami Hurricanes.
Well, ourselves, yeah, but
right. And the problem is the problem. Here's the problem. And here's how teams scare you. It's not even about the talent and what you can or can't do. I have never seen a team that I can only name maybe 4 guys on the team, and that's just from watching them all month, play so well together. And that's what Indiana is. Mm-hmm. Miami's more talented, except that quarterback. They're more talented at a majority of the positions on the field. But that doesn't always translate to success when you have a team that plays as well as they do together. And that's the baffling part to me, is that 2 teams that do the same things in what they're trying to accomplish during the course of a game, but do it totally different. One does it with just talent, and the other one does it with just everybody being on the same page. I've never said the words, that guy is out of place for Indiana.
Mhm.
And sometimes those are the most difficult teams to defend and play against because you know they're not going to make a mistake.
That's the thing. I think this game is going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. And coming off Ole Miss, where Miami had a ton of mistakes and shot themselves in the foot and
couldn't
made that game what it was because of their self-inflicted wounds, it has me nervous. Like, we definitely need to clean things up. We're a lot more injured than we've been in the playoff, so that's nerve-wracking. And yeah, that's my temperature on it. So I think if we lose, I'm just happy that we're there because I didn't think that this would happen anytime soon.
It's been a crazy run. I mean, I think that's the other thing too. This isn't like, it's hard to compare it to other Kane seasons because this playoff was so intense and it was such a hard run. But it's like you said, you don't know when you're going to get here again. They don't even know who the damn quarterback's going to be next year, you know? There are going to be things that don't matter. Like they're going to replace Maui Noah with that freak Jackson Cantwell next year that they got, but he's a freshman coming in. Like you don't know. You got 2 top 10, maybe top 5 guys on the line on both sides of a game like this. Mesidor is going to probably go in the first round. Malachi Toney is one of those explosive guys. Sometimes everything just comes your way and you don't know when that's going to happen again for you. Right. So you don't want to blow it either, but it has been like, there's no doubt every Canes fan has to be unbelievably proud of what this season has been, and especially the playoff run. The regular season was great because you kicked all your rivals' ass. That was sweet as hell. Mm-hmm. They were able to take care of their business like they had to, but this playoff run between the adversity at Texas A&M for all the mixed kicks and the stupid wind, Ohio State just basically kicking their ass full throttle right away. And yeah, getting through the adversity of a game that probably should have been a blowout, but wasn't, and that could mentally crack you, and it didn't. So I just think there's been so many thrills in this playoff run.
I would say this. The Ole Miss game, Miami will lose. But if they play the Ohio State game, I mean, I've never seen a team play more mistake-free football.
Yeah, very clean game.
Very clean game. If they play that game, then that means you make it all about talent. You make it all about the talent that you have over them. I think eventually it'll play out again because guess what? The one thing I'll say about Indiana, they're where they're supposed to be. They play with a lot of energy. And you never see a guy isolated when it comes to a tackle. They swarm, but they're little.
Swarm.
And Miami has a massive offensive line. So I'm wondering if they play mistake-free, are we going to see the same thing we've seen so many times during the course of a season with Miami, is that when that fourth quarter hits, the other team is just exhausted.
Yeah, and the thing with Indiana too is in all the games that they played in the playoffs so far, they haven't faced a strong running offense like Miami because Oregon has had issues in the backfield with injuries, and so has just Oregon. What am I? And Alabama hasn't been able to establish a run game at all.
I would say the one team that they faced that was similar in their efforts to run the football and get the ball down the field was Ohio State, and they shut them down.
Exactly.
But they shut them down just on sheer energy.
But we shut down Ohio State's running games.
Correct.
Oh, there's going to be.
But again, I've said this the whole playoff, and Tobin, you can attest to this. Miami has the best offense and defensive line in the playoff.
Dude, they've been bulldozers. They've been so good. I mean, there's been so many runs with Fletcher and Marty Brown just like having what feels like 9 guys in front of them just mowing down.
I would rather lay off the flea flickers till like.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
gonna get. Listen, Dawson can't help himself. He's gonna
He can't
have
help-
one,
he's
and I
like
think
you when it
Chris
comes
Paul's
to-
gonna give him like, hey, he's gonna probably just he'll probably just give a fist. He's just like.
I don't
more.
want to talk about the flea flicker against Ole Miss. That was one of the worst play calls I've ever seen in my entire life.
That was after the crazy Fletcher run, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like because Mario Cristobal legitimately looked. I don't think he's been that. You could have lit him up with every drug and alcohol. I don't think you could get a man that with that much joy that he had in that run. How happy he was seeing the offensive line push like that. He was so happy. You can't get him that happy after a win. He's never that happy after a win. It's just 1-0. But he couldn't help him. He couldn't hide the glee that he had from his offensive line getting that push. And then the answer to that was flea flicker. And I just imagine in his head, it was like Homer Simpson strangling Bart. Like that's what he thought in his head, like a cartoon of him and Shannon Dawson. Like, but just go forward.
And no one seems to have talked about the 2 design runs that he called for Carson Beck, which was just the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, listen, you do that because you don't think they're going to guard the quarterback. And once there's a defender out there, you immediately know this play isn't going to work.
He did it twice.
Right. But
and
you got it. You know what it does, though, Brittany? You know what it does, Brittany? Here's what it does. Some of the plays that you run them for setup purposes. So we would always fake reverses. What that does is it keeps the backside stable. So they're not crashing. They're seeing that guy come around and they're just kind of sitting there trying to read it out, and it creates more space inside. So when you run a play like that, it may not be effective, but then the next time you tell the quarterback, every time you hand the ball off, you roll out. That backside guy, if he just stops to make sure you haven't taken the ball, that means that there's one less defender in the box that can go and get the running back. And so you do that it's kind of one of those keeping you honest type plays.
Be honest, Posh.
Yes, it's one of those keeping you honest when you know right away it may not work, but at the point in time that you run it, you're doing it with the purpose of keeping that backside guy honest.
I know football's not like this, but I like to picture it like this. But like what I picture at the offices,
This is going to be cartoons or something.
It is. Like I picture like Shannon Dawson in his office, and like he's just got trick plays. He's just thinking, on his little board or computer, whatever he's doing, and then like Cristobal walks by and goes, "What are you doing, coach?" And then he is like a fake spread. He has like a fake one that's just wishbone. And he goes, pounding the rock, coach,
So, in other words, instead of working on cover 2 and 8 men in the box plays, he's looking at boot, scoot, and boogie.
Yeah, that's how I picture him. And then, like, Cristobal has to walk by. He has to have a cover. Because that's what I would do when I had an office job. I would be looking, of course, at like
Who hired you to work in an office?
Nobody smart. So when I was doing nights here, I had a 9-to-5er. And I always did the fake spreadsheet move, where you have it minimized on the window. But, I really had heat rumors on Twitter for the other one. This is before they could track your computers. So, like, I always had the, Dave would walk in. He goes, what do we got there? I was like, a lot of lights. I was doing electrical estimating. So I picture Shannon Dawson doing something like that, where Mario Cristobal only wants tough plays. But he's, when he walks away, he's just thinking about razzle dazzle.
I will say there's a time and place for those plays, and they have benefited us during the season.
There's a time and place, but keep in mind, one of the things I appreciate about good offensive football, that I can see a play and go, oh, that's a setup, right? And that play that the quarterback keeper, that is one of those plays that's a setup. You're just trying to keep that backside honest.
What was that? Was the Ohio State game? That was the setup to Fletcher where they went like 9 offensive linemen and there was just a little dump off to Fletcher on the other side.
Right. Just stuff like that. Like the whole idea of offensive football is to make it look like you're going to do a bunch of different things and then have adjustments off of that, which is one of the crazy things, one of the things that kills me about Mike McDaniel, an offensive guru. You should always have plays that look like one play but or another play. And we go in the second halves with him and he would have nothing. He would run out the same plays. So when I watch that offense and I watch Shannon Dawson call a game, I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. You know, I can see what they're trying to accomplish, even though you may have a play that's not successful. And all plays aren't going to be successful. Sometimes you throw a ball up for grabs to a wide receiver, not because you necessarily want to complete the deep ball, but you want that cornerback on his heels the whole game. So every time that wide receiver takes off to run, if he has any speed, that guy's going to turn and run that much quicker. So that makes the in cuts better. That makes the comebacks better, the square ends. All those things help because that receiver is so tied into getting beat deep that you now have him in a bad situation.
Dr. Boggin says, you got to look angry in the cubicle too. Conveys that you're busy. Dave South says, Tobin seems like a throw a pencil into the drop ceiling kind of guy. Oh, yeah. I mean, I was doing more like bouncing off rubber bands off the thing to get to the back slant because we had slanted tables for blueprints. Yeah. Well, you gotta have some. You gotta get through the day. Everybody knows. Everybody
Your
knows.
history is so interesting.
It is.
Thank
you.
You
went from a farm to a furniture
farm.
store.
I don't think he worked. You didn't work at the farm.
I did work at the farm. That was my first summer job. Well, winter job because it would be winter breaks too, because I would have to watch to make sure no babies were coming out.
A farm?
Yeah, it's a long story. We got to go to break. Anyway, some other headlines: Davion Mitchell, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic, and Tyler Hero did not practice, according to Anthony Chang. Tyler was precautionary. Davion, of course, had the shoulder injury. Jaime Jaquez left knee soreness. Nikola Jovic, right knee soreness. So they did not practice today. And those are your headlines. We'll take a break. 15 minutes of heat. Next. Bum, bum. 15 minutes of heat here, brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. As the Heat, they win yesterday. They beat the Phoenix Suns 127-121. Big fourth quarter from Bam Adebayo and Norman Powell. Tyler Hero also with a nice game. Jaime Jaquez was awesome. Needed it. Snapped their losing streak. Start the homestand off to the right kind of start.
Yeah. So can I say this? Like, the Heat have sold us on anybody can have a hot night, right? But aren't the better teams have the 2 or 3 guys who you can depend on every night, and then some random guy maybe turning it up a notch on
Hierarchy.
any given night? Like,
hierarchy.
it can't be the whole basis of your scoring. You got to have 2 or 3 guys that are going to do a majority of your scoring.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like we got Norm, Wiggins is in and out, Bam's in and out, Tyler,
That's a health thing.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. Do you think this team would be better off for example, I would love to depend on Kalel's 15 and 10 every night.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be like, no matter how bad he's playing, he's going to get you 15 to 20 and 10 rebounds, right? Who's the other guys who every night you can depend on that production? Bam has normally been that guy going to give you somewhere around 20 and 10 rebounds. He hasn't been that lately.
Yeah, I mean, the first start is he's got to get back on track. I think that's the
Right.
bigger thing. He needs to keep having games like this. He needs to keep firing away. And
I'm just curious because if you're going to do anything special or anything, outside of the play-in, you're going to need the 2 or 3 guys you can count on for scoring every night.
Interesting. Sounds like you would like a 2-time All-Star maybe to bring in and be that go-to guy. To
if he doesn't get suspended or if he's not hurt, he's hurt all the time too.
I mean, listen,
it would be a shame.
Multiple players.
You know what?
It would be durability issues.
It would be a crime against Heat fans if you say got rid of Tyler because he's injury prone and you sign up another injury prone guy. Do you understand how ridiculous that sounds?
Does it sound ridiculous?
Yes, it does.
I don't know if it does, dude.
If you do it beforehand, knowing this guy's missed a lot of time, go look at how much time he's missed.
You miss a lot of time.
Okay, then. And you're willing to sign up for that.
People get hurt.
No. Are you willing to sign up for that with what your organization has been through?
Would I be willing to sign? I'm not going to say. Here's what I would say. I'm not unwilling. Hold on. I'm not unwilling to sign up for it.
That's not.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Right. So
no.
Let me get this straight. Injuries have plagued your team. Guys not being available have plagued this team for a few years lately. And your solution is signing another guy that you're going to have the same questions?
Not sign, trade for. I'm not signing him
again.
It's not like
your solution to that issue. So your solution to the Tyler Hero issue, whatever the reasons he hasn't been able to play, right? Your solution to that is to go sign another guy who misses a lot of time. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds?
Well, who would you? I mean, like, there's not a lot of guys who are going to be available that don't have some kind of baggage. So, like, I
would like my baggage. I would like my baggage not to be unavailable. That's what I would like.
Yeah, that's what I mean by baggage. Like, normally, like, these guys are going to have some kind of.
And I'm out. I'll keep what I have.
Okay.
I don't even think it's about his injuries. I think for me personally, it's about his off the court issues.
His lack of maturity.
Still, Brittany, he has a number of reasons why he's been unavailable.
Guy's got more red flags than a Tinder account, dude. I'm telling you.
And you're willing to sign up for that?
Well, I mean, what if we
yes or
find?
No? Stop. Put your name on it.
I believe I already said I'm not unwilling to do it at a very discounted price.
Go ahead.
I would trade for Ja right now.
I would trade very little for Ja Morant right now.
No, you can't do it. You can't.
I'm not gonna.
Oh my goodness,
you're not being a grown up. I'm giving you my stipulations. If it's a low value deal, I would definitely be interested in Ja Morant. I think you guys have. I've said this. I think I've made this clear. You guys are sitting
no,
here.
No,
like,
no.
You won't have an opinion on this. You won't have an opinion on this. You either want Ja or you don't want Ja. I want Ja at a discounted rate. Why is that such a crazy take?
Listen.
Because
every time you take a firm stand, your stand has caveats so that you can go back on and say, that's not what I said.
It's
what
not
I
a caveat.
said was,
if you're asking me, would I trade Khalil Ware for Ja Morant? Obviously not. If I have to.
Hey, wait. At this point, my questions had nothing to do with what Ja would cost. My questions were, are you willing to sign somebody who the guy that you have a problem with now is because of his unavailability? You're going to go out and sign a guy whose problem has been unavailability.
If we get on the cheap skis, I'm willing.
Oh, so what's the cheap skis for you then?
I think the most I'm willing to give up, Brittany, is salary to match. The best piece I'm willing to give up for him is Yakachonis. That's the highest I would go. That's the highest.
You're gonna have Ja
or something.
You're gonna have Ja and Tyler on the same team.
I mean, for now, I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens from there. We'll have to see. Chips fall where they may. Chips fall where they may.
Have we not seen this film before, Tobin?
I need a hug. I ain't gonna lie.
Look,
dealing with you.
Will we need to trade one of Norm or Tyler after that? Perhaps. I don't know. That has nothing to do with nothing.
Norm, you would trade Norm and keep Tyler?
I don't know. You have to pay him too. He's older. Has his own injuries past, by the way. He does.
Who's more dependable, Tyler or Norm?
I'd have to go look at the totals, but Norm misses a lot of time. And he's older. 32. It's a question. Now, Tyler wants a lot more money than Norm, I would imagine. So that could weigh into it as well. If Norm,
do you understand how you like to take these hard stands and then tiptoe when we hold you to the fire? Oh, and I hold you to the fire.
I am,
tiptoe.
Okay, but here's the thing: I'm answering the questions like a grown-up, and you're not satisfied with my answers, so you lash out at me.
Because I basically put it out there for you. I said we're not even discussing the particulars. I'm assuming that if the deal were made, right, that it would be conducive to what the Heat want to do. I asked you, based on the issues you've had with Tyler over the last 2 or 3 years and his availability, why would you then go and sign, regardless of how much little it'll cost or whatever? Why would you then go sign another guy
I would
whose
say
availability has been in question for the last couple of years?
Okay, here's my answer.
How is that making you better?
Here's my answer to that. If you are not paying Tyler Hero, which it does not appear, I would imagine the Heat. Hear me out. Why are you getting so mad?
Because the money doesn't matter with my question.
Does, hold on. It absolutely does matter. Stop saying it doesn't matter. It's a salary cap sport, and that's a huge issue. So don't say it doesn't matter. Okay. Ja Morant has 2 committed years after this year. That's his deal. Tyler Hero, if he were to go into the season, will want a 4-year extension. So it does matter. It's twice the amount of time. So don't say it's nothing. It is a part of it. And you also have to ask, hold on, with Tyler Hero, with his value, playing no games, which he has not played a lot of games. So I would say his value is probably at a pretty low point right now, even coming off an all-star season, because of 1, his injury past, and 2, people know he wants an extension. So if that resulted in trading Ja Morant and you have a guarantee of like, all right, this is a 2-year window we're going to try with Ja, and we're rolling the dice of that duo working as opposed to Norm, both unavailable windows, but one's at a half rate. I would have to, and I think the Heat are probably asking the question, is there a better thing that we could get for Tyler Hero than Ja Morant? Because this is the question a lot of teams right now, Leroy, are asking. Trae Young just went for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. These guys who are one-way guards who do not play defense and want a whole lot of money do not levy a lot of value. And so the Heat have to ask themselves a question on Tyler Hero. Is he going to get right? Is having him more valuable than having a guy who is that alpha that you're looking for, who has, yes, 100 more red flags than Tyler Hero outside of durability? That's the question. Are you telling me would I be willing to part with that? I think so, just because I don't think the Tyler Hero solution is going. My opinion after many years with Tyler Hero, I think he's an incredibly talented scorer. But do I think that he should invest $1 gazillion in him? No, I don't think so. And so then you have to move on and spin the wheel and figure out, okay, could you make Ja Morant work out?
No.
But maybe. You can't say no. You can
Yes,
say,
I can.
You can think no, but you can't say no.
Here. Why are you expecting somebody to be different than they've been the last 3 or 4 years as far as what they've done?
I think what I would say is one.
Wait, I give you a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Did everybody know the Jimmy situation was going to end the way it did? Because that's the way it ends everywhere.
Yeah, but that they should have known that when they didn't pay him. Like I think their error. I think on that side, I blame
They got rid of him sooner.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and guess what? Jimmy he did have a good ending to the year for the Warriors. And he's actually been very available this year. To be fair, the Warriors aren't good enough, but he's only missed, I think, 4 or 5 games this year.
But the availability part is the most important part for me, because if you said these words, Ja may not be a good shooter, he may not play great defense, but he's going to play 70 games a year, your argument stands. I'm like, okay, I might not like all of the other nonsense. I might not like all of the other, stuff that he's doing, but dude is available. So that is an improvement from Tyler. But I can buy it. But if you're telling me these two guys both miss a whole bunch of games, I'm going to see him in street clothes too. Who cares?
But here's what I would say, Leroy. This is my one counter because we do have to go to break. Let's say we get to the summer. Let's say Tyler Hero finishes the year. Let's say he plays this year, but he basically essentially missed half the season. The Heat either make it to the second round even, right? Let's play it at a ceiling. The Heat make the second round. They win a first round series. Are the Heat really going to give Tyler Hero a big extension?
Nope. But you know what I'm thinking? Value's up, baby.
I don't know if his value's up. Well, I'm saying like he plays like this. They're in the play and they win a series. Even like they win a series. You're probably going to end up flipping him anyway. And what that's going for right now, as you just saw with Trae Young and Norman Powell, by the way, you basically get slow-mo and Kevin Love. You get filler. So my thought is, if you're not getting Giannis, like Ja Morant, would I take the roll of the dice on Ja Morant for Tyler Hero? Yeah, I think I kind of would. I get the red flags. I get it. But I'm feeling dangerous.
You know how? Can I just tell you? You understand how mad I would be if that happened, and then the first thing they announce is Ja is inactive because of injury.
I get you.
I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, they gotta check out that calf, see if it's a legit injury or not.
Oh, you think he's faking it?
Kind of.
Okay.
We'll take a break. Rats off a ship is next.
Game 6.
Rats off a ship.
All right. Let's put our snorkel masks on. Close this thing out with a little rats off a ship. What do we have today, Jennifer, for rats off a ship? Did you say something snarky to me? Because you were muted. What did you say? You rats up? I'm
rats off a ship on your little how you went about that whole Ja thing.
Okay, here. I will lay my ground rules, okay? You either get me Ja Morant or play Kasparos Yakachonis. I want one of the two, all right? And Spo, I'm tired of the nonsense. Those are my terms.
I mean, can he win with Kalel?
Kalel's, I don't like that either. I want Kalel. I mean, I hope, I'm going to tell you something right now. If Davion misses this next game and Kalel is in the starting lineup, I'm going to be pretty perturbed. Why doesn't he like tall people? What's his deal? He's not a short man.
Ja's not tall.
No, he's not. I did read it.
He's lost some athleticism too, right?
Ja Morant?
Yes, he's been banged up and he's moving.
He has said that he doesn't want to dunk as much. He has brought that, but I think he's saving his dunks for a place he wants to be.
You make a lot of assumptions in life, dude.
And you're falling for it right now, Leroy.
Let's go.
Don't do it.
I'm rats off the ship.
Yeah, off him.
Yes.
Okay. Are we ready now?
I am ready.
Beautiful. Leroy, are you okay?
I'm ready.
Let me see the smile. Beautiful.
No.
Do not give your input.
No.
Children, settle down.
No, I'd love to do that, but my fingers don't point straight. So.
What do we have, Jennifer?
Okay, we had Josina Anderson reporting Mike Tomlin wants to coach in warm weather.
Really, dude? Does he now?
Warm weather?
Wow.
You know what?
So that's either indoors. Is that either indoors or Florida?
Does he
Who else
now?
is available? Raiders?
Raiders are hot. Yeah, it's in Vegas. We got
Miami.
And Falcons isn't that warm?
Falcons?
Tampa.
Tampa's not available. They got
Tampa's not
they got
available.
to fire Todd Bowles.
No,
They
sorry.
like
I'm
top
thinking of,
balls.
who am I thinking of?
Interesting. Fair. I'm not rats off a ship. I mean, listen, if Mike Tomlin wants to coach in warm weather, who am I to tell him? It's been cold for a long time in Pittsburgh.
He certainly looks miserable in one of them cold weather games. I think he's going to take a year off, and the Dolphins will already have a coach. But I would love to see Mike Tomlin down here. The only thing that I would say is that if you hire a defensive guy, at some point, are you going to say we need somebody for our offense? That's the only thing that, unless they bring somebody in. I don't want Arthur Smith. Sorry.
Oof.
Right.
Smith. No.
I don't think he's coaching next year. I think he's going to be amazing on TV. Could you imagine that attitude breaking down football?
I actually could. I think he'd be great.
Oh,
I think he'd be great. And plus, I mean, these TV contracts are pretty crazy lately. So good for him. Get that bag. But I'm not rats off the ship.
basically,
What
he
wants,
could
wants.
do it for
Exactly.
2 years, and then nobody would have to offer him, have to give up restitution for him or give up picks for him.
Well, listen, the way the league is going right now, it seems like a third of the league is opening up every single year.
Oh my goodness.
Jennifer, where are your rats?
I'm not mad about it. I'm not rats off a ship.
All right.
Give the man what he wants.
Brittany?
Jennifer's mood has changed ever since A.J. Greer was on the show.
Very chipper
She
today.
is very
chipper.
Pep.
she's nice. She's
Mhm.
like, oh, Leroy, you need a hug.
Yeah.
Like very yeah. Wow.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you do.
Brittany, where are your rats?
My rats are not off the ship. They're not. I'd bring him down here.
Yeah,
Bring him down
dude.
here.
Listen, he gets to if he wants to do TV so bad, he could do the Mike Tomlin show with Kim Bokamper on local CBS 4.
So
my
question,
my question is this: is Mike Tomlin the type that's going to demand some kind of power over the roster?
That's a good question.
That seems to be where the veteran coaches, the coaches who have history, the coaches who, garner a lot of attention when they're available.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually one of the demands that they make. And with a new GM, I really find this, like, people need to understand this. If you just get a job running the organization, the last thing you're going to do is hire somebody that wants that power.
Well, listen, maybe we hire a patsy for the year and, we tank it, blow this puppy up. He comes here with the number 1 pick next year,
I like the sound of it.
Can you imagine talking about the Dolphins all year with them trying to do that?
We did it. We did it a few years ago.
No, remember when they ended up with the second pick? Who they drafted?
The second pick.
Left tackle. That was the first pick. First pick.
Yeah.
Then they took a running back with the second. No.
Yeah,
that was later on.
I wasn't doing sports radio during the Cam Cameron year. I was still at Barry. But I was here for the Flores year. We were all there for that, and I remember being very sad at a sports bar.
Ronnie Brown. Ronnie Brown wasn't 2 though. Was he 2?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Ronnie Brown over Aaron Rodgers.
Give us one more, Jennifer, quickly.
Leroy's favorite, Mike McDaniel. How do you feel about him coaching Cam Ward in Tennessee? Apparently, he is interviewing today.
I'm rats off a ship. I don't like it for Cam Ward.
You don't like it for Cam Ward?
I don't like it for Cam Ward.
He's very innovative.
Yeah. Is he, though? I don't know. I think has he lost his fastball? I don't know if I want that for Cam Ward. What would Socrates say to that?
So question, if that should happen, and Cam Ward has the best year of his career as up to date, and they start turning it around, then what would you say? Because there's a lot of situations in NFL where everybody said this guy sucks or this guy sucks and whatever, and they've gone other places and had some success. Is that an indictment of your organization, or is it certain things that he's learned and gotten better at?
Well, I think he probably like having a quarterback that can actually, move around the pocket a little bit. Like Cam Ward's not fleet of foot, but he certainly can
maneuver in the pocket.
He can maneuver.
Right.
But no, I would say Cam Ward saved his career.
I'm not right off the ship. I'm not right off the ship.
Jennifer?
I'm rats off a ship.
Rats off a ship.
He just doesn't want to hear press conference because I'll play his press conferences if he's talking to Cam Ward.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hear that again. Okay, I'm happy that it's over.
Brittany?
I'm rats off a ship. Don't do that to Cam Ward.
Off a ship.
Please don't do that to Cam Ward.
But he's really good at that.
Yeah, but like
does everybody remember what Tua was before Mike McDaniel got here? No,
yeah, he wasn't very good.
He wasn't very good. Yeah,
and then he was rats off a ship on him in 2 years.
Exactly.
Deserved. I mean, listen, deserved.
Tua needs to spend this offseason getting in shape. I'm telling you. I told him that earlier.
Oh. The rats are doing cannonballs, being like, "Stop sliding, you idiot!" You think we get to a revenge season or no shot? He's going to go be like the Cardinals quarterback this year.
He can do whatever he wants as long as it's not on the Dolphins.
Yikes!
She has spoken.
Wow,
that's our show for today, ladies and gentlemen.
What an ending!
We will talk to you, rascals, tomorrow.